2:27 for 4 is the situation. There's a new ball due in 4 overs time. But West Indies have worked pretty well, and certainly at this stage quite successfully, towards seeing off any chance of being asked to follow on. There's still a long way to go, of course, in this game. There's 36 overs to go tonight, and then 98 possible tomorrow if necessary. Joe Root's called a huddle down there. Not sure what he's going to say, but terrific effort by Ben Stokes. That period up to tea. Phil Tufnell's nodding his head, and he'll reflect on that while I make room for Alison Mitchell.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Ben Stokes and Stuart Broad. That is not an easy skill to do, coming round the wicket, thumping in every ball, effort ball, short into the ribs. It takes it out of you as a fast bowler. But it was the only way that England really were looking likely to get a wicket. So I think the new ball's going to be key. 4 overs away. A little bit of spin and a little bit of Wokes or someone like that, and then have a real go with the new ball. Otherwise, this test could be drifting away from England, Ali.
Hello, Tuffers. Feels like it's got to happen in this evening session for England, doesn't it?
You need 5 or 6 wickets, I think.
Yep. 270 to avoid the follow-on, and West Indies 227 for 4 at the moment. And yeah, you've got to hand it to the West Indies batsmen as well, because when that short barrage was coming to them, yes, it was the leading edge, which was the caught and bowled for Stokes, but on the whole, the bounce was ridden and the challenge was ridden well by Brooks, who resumed 60 not out, and before that Craig Brathwaite as well for his 74.
Yeah, played really nicely. Did the anchor role for him, and it is difficult. I mean, people might say, well, if they're bowling around the wicket, you know where it's going to be. It's going to be short and into your ribs, but you've got a split second, to decide whether to duck, to sway, to play. Is it going to bounce? Is it going to keep low? What pace is coming, and so it wears you down as a batsman as well. And I mean, you're right. I think that the West Indies didn't then take the bait and start trying to hook it and could get top edges for the field that was set. So, it became a bit of a stalemate then.
No, they showed great discipline as well, didn't they? So
exactly.
I'm not going to fall for your trap.
No. I know your subtle ploy.
your subtle plan.
Yes, and I'm not going to be lured in.
Broad has ball in his hand with the pavilion behind him. So from the James Anderson end, Roston Chase on strike, 8 from 21 he is. So similar field that we had before tea, with Broad around the wickets with a short leg in place, and it's down the leg side, a shouldering of arms from Chase, carrying through to Butler from back of a length. So the short leg still there, Ollie Pope beneath the helmet. We've got Burns standing at gully, and we've got a leg gully as well. Square leg, point, mid-off and mid-on.
Got a Stuart Broad stat for you.
Oh,
okay, yes.
Got the Hawkeye, CricViz ball tracking data.
Broad charging in around the wicket again. In he goes, angled out towards points, no run.
They have 4,670 Stuart Broad overs in their ball tracking database, and the first of the 2 overs he bowled before tea was on average the 3rd shortest over he's ever bowled in terms of where the ball has bounced, and the 2nd over was the 9th shortest. So he has been banging it in a slightly uncharacteristic way.
Yeah, he's been asked to do a very specific job here, and he's around the wicket once more, past the umpire, down the leg side though, and he's not quite directing it right. It's far too easy for the batsman to leave alone.
And that in itself is hard for the bowler as well, because you don't like doing this as a bowler. You like to be sort of building overs and setting people up. Nick one back, swing one away, one short perhaps. And so as a bowler, it becomes a bit of a mental sort of task just to keep going, right, well, all I'm going to be doing is bowling this ball short and at his ribcage. You know what I mean? It's awkward all round, but it does work sometimes.
But with Stokes doing it from that end, we've got a switch now.
Yeah, I think he's had enough now, Stuart.
Yeah, he's going over.
It's a bit like the spinner bowling over the wicket into the rough. It becomes just like, oh, here we go.
A bit samey.
Yeah, a bit samey for everyone.
3 balls left in the over the wicket, and that's a better bouncer, and it's got it fending away towards short leg. It's dropped safe though, but again, he's having to ride the bounce, and it could have easily ballooned up. So there's still a challenge with a short ball from over the wicket. It doesn't always have to be around the wicket.
It's really dried out, this pitch, isn't it? Really, I mean, it looks really dry now. Started a little bit damp, there was a little bit of tackiness to it, but 2 or 3 days, it's all that moisture has just been evaporated out of it.
Broad charging in, headband on, bowls again short, and he's ducking this time. Chase goes through to Butler. So this is over number 77.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Broad bowl up to the 80th over and somebody else take the new ball?
Well, might be interesting. I mean, yeah, you would have thought that they would have given Stuart Broad the new ball, but, you want him at his sharpest, not after having bowled 2 or 3 overs. Perhaps they might give it to Stokes.
I did wonder that.
Yeah.
I wondered. Is that the next trick up Joe Root's sleeve?
Yes, I mean, he just always looks so lightly, Ben Stokes, doesn't he? Whatever he does.
Around the wicket again now, so Broad switching, and that's a sway from Chase. So we've seen a variety of different leaves as well during that over, and it is the end of the over from Broad. So 2-7 for 4. The score remains a maiden then. Broad charging. We'll keep an eye on them, whether he's likely to come back on and continue bowling.
I mean, when you do go to that tactic, it's usually the last sort of one in the bag. You've opened the old bag of tactics and you've been scrabbling around, and there's there you go, round a wicket short, just hidden the corner. That kind of means that you haven't got much left in the old think tank.
Well, it's best from this end, so continuing with spin. And one point to make, I'm not sure whether we've mentioned it this match, of course, is that Stuart have to make particularly sure that he stays the right side of the cricketing law, if you like, this match, because the match referee is his dad, who I'm sure would come down particularly harsh on him.
I forgot about
disciplining
that.
your son.
Yes.
It's with the neutral umpires and match referees being used. Bess over the wicket, then it's Foolish to Brooks, who comes forward, defends back up the pitch into the hands of Don Bess.
That would be awkward, wouldn't it?
Being summoned by your dad.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad. Come in here, son.
It is. It's an interesting quirk, isn't it? But Chris Broad is the match referee, and Bess is in again now, coming forward, driving up the pitch. Brooks 60 not out. Played very nicely for his half century as well.
I'm sure he wouldn't be more lenient. I'm sure he'd play.
Well, it might actually work the other way,
exactly.
wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've been dying to tell him off for years.
Bess in, going back, a little dabble, just wide of slip. They're able to come through for 1, which should be 2 as well. Brooks turns.
Close.
Oh, he's a little bit late now. Chase setting off for the second, but the throw needed to be tighter on the stumps. Butler was there wanting to gather the ball and whip off the bails, but Brooks always wanted to.
He actually turned there, Brooks, as Joe Root was turning to throw. I thought that would have been a lot tighter. A tired arm there from the England captain, I think.
Here's something Tuffers.
Yeah.
Looking over behind, over towards the car park, over deep cover as Bess is in. Full defender back up the pitch. You can see Jofra Archer doing some jogging over in the nets area, just the other side of the nets.
Oh, okay.
We did hear rumour that he might have been allowed out of his isolation bedroom.
Has he been allowed out? Has he? Yes, he
Yeah,
has.
so he's got a mask on.
Yeah.
He's got blue disposable gloves on his hands as well, so he's PPE'd up. Bess is in. More flight, a full toss, in fact. Driven straight to Broad at mid-off, throw at the stumps. It misses.
That would have been gone.
Didn't really look like he had much of a hurry on then either, did he?
He was short there. He ambled there. Stuart Broad, to be fair, has run in there and picked up beautifully. Oh,
would have been out.
2-3 yards out.
In fact, the batsman was pulling up, whether he was worried about being hit by the ball, but
Yeah, bit of luck.
it was like there was a sort of jockey on his back saying sort of, whoa, we're coming to the line, let's ease off, and actually he needed to be putting a dive in. He got away with one there, Chase. So here's Brooks on 62, 3 around the bat. Bess in, flighted up and driven into the pitch, back into the hands of Bess. It ends the over 2:30 for 4. West Indies score. So I'm just saying, I think Joffre is out there with. Well, there's somebody out there with him over on the field. Whether that's a member of the support staff, trainer, but he's clearly being allowed to have. Does that count as, do you think, daily exercise when you're in isolation? Either way, he's allowed out, and that indicates, because there was, of course, when you think about availability for the third test. First of all, it was there going to be any disciplinary action, and we know the answer to that now is a fine. There's no sense of any ban. But then really just a question of what happens if you've been in literally no exercise for 5 days as a fast bowler.
Got to blow the cobwebs out a bit, haven't you?
Well, it's a good sign for him in a cricketing sense that he's able to.
The fingers will be nice and loose. The fingers will be nice and loose on the old.
I think there would have been a fair amount of computer games being played. Yep, bit of activity on the old Xbox. Now Broad is continuing here. So again, around the wicket, so still got this field set up for short-pitched bowling, and he's charging in again. Second new ball around the corner, it bounces. It's just a turn of the shoulder as the ball's allowed to go through to Butler. So this is the 79th over. So Broad still charging in.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I mean, as you say, the pitch has become so dry, there's not a lot of sideways movement. And I've been a little bit surprised that England haven't got as much swing as the West Indies. I know it was slightly overcast, perhaps, on those at the start of the game, but the West Indies did get the ball to swing. It's been a bit gun barrel, England.
Yeah. Broad in again now, and that was a better directed delivery. Just didn't quite get up as much as the previous. So actually, when the shoulder dip came and the turn of the head, I think he might have just felt a little bit of a breeze past the right shoulder as the ball fizzed past.
Well played again, though.
Yeah, not being tempted into a rash shot.
No, he looks pretty comfortable against the short ball, and not, as you said, as we said earlier, not tempted to have a little flick at one.
We saw the West Indies continue for another 13 overs, was it, with the old ball before they eventually took the new. But
weird.
You would imagine that England would be straight onto it.
Oh yes.
Wokes is warming up, and Broad's in again, fending it down to the leg side. Good short ball, forcing him to play at that one, but equally well controlled by Brooks. So Wokes definitely warming up, so he's got an eye on the new ball then, perhaps, and maybe they're going to hope that Wokes can get some swing with the new ball, and whether it will be Stokes from the other end. I see him doing particularly any.
Well, they might just have
up.
2 or 3 with Stuart, and then get Stokes straight back into it. Yeah.
Broad with the Victorian red brick pavilion behind him. In now, short again, and that isn't controlled, and it's flown away and dropped in front of Burns at Gully.
It's unlucky. Did exactly what he wanted to do there, Stuart. Ball slightly straighter at him as well, and a bit of a cutter actually. And it's just jagged at him. Oh, it's got that top end of the glove, and that could have gone anywhere, but he's quite a tall man. And able to sort of get up and just punch it down. If that just hits sort of on the angle on the way up, that balloon's up anywhere.
A nasty delivery.
Yeah.
Burns is there waiting for a catch, has his root, leg gully, short leg as well. Broad in again, ducking underneath it. He's got right down on one knee that time. And Broad's looking at him as if to say, how did you manage to just get out of the way of that so easily? And he seemed as if, Brooks had all the time in the world just to duck, almost quite genuflected, didn't he? Just dropped down onto one knee. Little bow of the head, but he had to crouch a little more than we've seen him previously.
I think Stuart Broad was thinking that's almost bowled him. You know, he's down on that back knee. You know, he's really crouched down, like Touche Turtle.
Yes, tucked up, properly tucked up. Broad around the wicket once more. Again, similar crouching leave position from Brooks.
The one
End
thing,
of the over.
the one trouble with that, I mean, it does look like it's creating the odd occasion, but England need to push here, don't they? You know, they haven't got time on their side. You know, so the West Indies are pretty sort of just going, well, listen, you know, that's not really going to get me out, only if it's an absolute rip snorter of a ball and gets me in 2 minds. I'm not going to play the hook shot, so I'm not going to be taking any risks. I'll just keep bobbing and weaving here all day long. You know, you're not threatening off stump, you can't get me LBW, you're not going to get me bowled, sort of thing. So it's kind of cancelling each other out. England perhaps need to rethink about it. It was a good ploy to do it in that session when nothing was happening. But now, as you say, that perhaps the new ball's going to come now to go back to really pushing for outside edges, bowls and LBs.
Yep, we had 11 overs of Stokes, didn't we, on the trot, bowling that short stuff. Here's Bess in, back goes Chase, no run. We've got a substitute fielder on. Let's see who's gone off. Stokes is still there at slip. Broad is still on the field.
Is that over set? Yeah.
Bess over the wickets. A breeze picks up, and that's it. Drops a little short, a little flatter from Bess. Really saying, tough as you'd like him to be bowling just a little bit slower, maybe just a little loopy, enticing drive.
Yes, a bit more sort of up and down, a little bit more up from the hand. Get it above the old batsman's eye line, as they say.
Tussle head, Bess in, quicker, fuller, driven, and that's drilled down the ground for 4. That was not what you were calling for.
No.
230 for 4.
See, even though that's fuller, Ali, it's sort of flat and full, quick, flat and full. It hasn't got any deception on it, that ball, and you just see it wide and full, and it's just give it the kitchen sink, really. You know what I mean? You do have to have a little bit of craft as a spinner. Just hasn't quite got that right today, Don Bess.
Chase on to 12. It's flatter again. There was a hint of turn there, though. It turned into the ground and then picked up by short leg. There was no sense of dip because there was no flight, no
up.
Yeah,
no up from the hand.
Come down. Got to come down.
You have.
Bess,
You
a
have
little
indeed.
skip as he gets into his stride now. To the wickets, flatter and fuller again, but this time he hasn't timed it. And the ball squirts out towards the covers where Overton is. Wokes is still whirring his arms because in one ball's time, the second new ball will be available. West Indies needing 270 to avoid the follow-on. They're 2-3-4 for 4, and Bess in, coming forward. It's come off the outside edge of the bat into the ground there and running away towards short third man region. It's a chase back for slip, and they've got a single. So 80 overs gone, and Chase on 13. Brooks is the standout batter at the moment, well set on 63 at the point that the new ball is now available. So 235 for 4. Out comes umpire Alex Wharf.
Oh yeah, give me the new ball. Give me the new ball.
Will be tucked into Richard Illingworth's pocket, and immediately Joss Butler tosses away the old ball to Alex Wharf. So it is game on now. This is a little shift in the session where England have got to make something happen wickets wise if they're to get themselves in a position where they can win.
I like that. That the way Joss Butler sort of got rid of that old ball is like, I don't know whether you've seen it in the golf sometimes. You know, if they 3-putt one and they pick the ball like, I don't like that ball, and throw it in the lake, don't they? They go, get out of it.
There was an element of disgust,
Yeah, there
wasn't there,
was.
from Butler.
Get out of that. You've done me no favours whatsoever. I don't want to see you ever again. You get a nice new one. Thank you.
And looks as if Stuart Broad will take the new ball. So even though he's only had a couple of overs of short stuff, so he's had a tea break before that as well.
Yeah.
He will be warmed up there. Is that as a bet?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and often you sometimes see, don't you, bowlers take a new ball 2 overs into the over when it's available, just to give themselves a couple of looseners with the old ball, so you don't sort of waste the new ball. But as Broad's already had that element of a warm up, so
he'll be ready to go.
But then at what point do you bring Stokes back in? When you see really what Broad and Wokes can do first. New ball, will they get some swing?
Yeah. Pitch up swing.
Yep.
And then, I think it'll be time for Benjamin.
That's what these two, their main role is new ball bowling, swing it, find the movement. But Broad and Wokes are the 2 wicketless bowlers so far in this innings. And Sam Curran, he's adjusting his headband, making sure it's on nice and tight. Is in the field for the moment, watching on as Broad comes in, bowls to the new ball on length, and it's defended to the offside. Like there's a great amount of swing there. 235 for 4, then the West Indies. The first target, 270. Brand new, shiny cherry.
Nothing better in the hand. Nothing better in the hand as a bowler.
We saw a lot of cutters with the old ball, but you'd imagine here it'd be just angle it towards
Wobble
slip.
seam,
Could be a wobble as well.
Yeah.
Chase with 2 slips and a gully and a short leg as Broad is over the wicket to him, and he's up on his toes, fending into the offside, drops into the ground, and Crawley moves in from point to field. So he's still riding the bounce well, is Roston Chase. Just to say, if you want to hop onto the BBC Sports website at the moment, some pretty good stuff there for you to read as regards Caribbean cricket, West Indies cricket.
Always good stuff.
I can commend.
Yes, always
to
good
you.
stuff. Always good stuff.
Broad's at the end of his mark. In now to Chase. Searching and searching. Full. Now it's come off the inside edge, squirting away down towards fine leg, and Curran's there to pick up. Broad really fired that one in.
Yeah. Lots of hands on head at the moment for England, but not making the great breakthrough.
Just a little bit of hint of wobble there, wasn't there? And then off the seam.
Just angled in, looking to target those pads.
The Caribbean Cricket Club, that's what I wanted to tell people about. Mark Higginson has written about the Caribbean Cricket Club, which is still going strong in Leeds. It was formed in 1948 to help some of the Windrush migrants to integrate into life in the UK. 72 years on, still going strong. As they've got 3 adult teams and 4 junior teams for men, women, boys and girls. Broad is in, full edged through to Butler. Just focus on Broad here for a moment because a couple of things are happening. He looks like he's got the wind behind him. A little bit of a cross breeze actually towards the slips cordon. But yeah, plenty to look at on the BBC Sport website. Now that has gone past the inside edge and past the off stump. They left a gap.
can't believe that's not bowled. Oh, that's jagged back mild.
It's a bounce as well.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes as a bowler, the bounce can undo you because you've almost got to bowl so full to hit the stumps. I mean, that was an absolute perler of a delivery, but just sailed over the top of off stump.
He's putting a lot of effort today, Broad, with that around the wicket bowling, but this is where he thrives. Oh, and that's a nasty one as well. Fended away. It's beaten second slip, running away towards the third man boundary, and it'll be 4. But he's found the edge once more. Batsman made to feel uncomfortable. Brooks has got another boundary. He's on to 67. Ben Stokes was left flat on his front at second slip.
It's not through lack of effort, that's for sure. As you say, Stuart Broad really is. Knees pumping, elbows going. Just not having the luck here, England.
Jagged back again, and the bottom hand comes off the bat handle. And that's again just helps to keep that ball down.
Played it pretty nicely in the end, sort of rode it on his way back and took that hand away, which just deadens it. Didn't poke out at it.
But it really reared back at the batsman. 240 for 4. Last ball of the over then from Broad with the brand new ball. In again, straight down the leg side, and it's spilt by Butler. Chased back for Root. Broad's got his hands on his hips. Nor did that come off by signalled, so missed everything. Well, Stuart Broad with the new ball. There's certainly some movement off the pitch, isn't there?
Just a little more on Broad's lengths in that old ball spell. Up until he took the new ball, it was at that point the shortest spell he's ever bowled for England in the period covered by the ball tracking data. That's over 1,000 spells dating back to 2009.
1,000 spells. Sounds like a...
It's like a Harry Potter sometimes, isn't it? Tuffers, I'll leave you with that thought. Yes. And then at 241 for 4, with Sam Curran coming on. Aggers is also moving in.
Have we got an emergency stat, Andy? I always like that time of the day.
Oh,
emergency stat. Do, do, do.
Well, further to that, looking only at complete overs. So before I was looking at partial overs as well, but out of complete overs, they're 3 of the top 7 shortest overs Broad has bowled in the last 11 years.
Now here's Curran with the new ball, and that swings gently into Brooks, who's 67 not out.
Sorry, mate, I threw that little hospital pass to you.
He's always got something.
Yeah.
241 for 4.
What have you made of this, John? Come on. Help me out.
What's in particular?
Well, I don't know. It's all just... the pitch has become very dry, hasn't it? And West Indies are in no hurry. They're not playing, they're just sticking in, aren't they?
Curran bowls, swings in. And Brooks on 67. Pushes into the offside. They have played really well.
Yeah.
They've just soaked up the pressure. Saw a little hard work from Stokes, didn't they? But
would you have a cunning plan up your sleeve as a seam bowler?
well, I was trying to think what the cunning plan might be, really, because they I think whereas West Indies went wrong in England's first innings, at least England went to plan B and they went the short pitch attack, didn't they? And got a wicket as a result. 241 for 4. Curran scuttles up, bowls a ball that does come swinging in, and Brooks taking that bottom hand off the bat handle, played the ball into the leg side. But when England just got to keep going, if they can't enforce the follow on, if it had a lead of 150, go out and give it a whack.
This is when cricket's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially Test cricket, flat pitch. Ball's not doing too much. Long periods of inactivity. You've just got to keep plugging away.
You do. Hope for a mistake.
Yeah.
Curran runs up, bowls. That's nicely played by Brooks, who has got a very straight bat, I must say. Beautifully straight.
Yes. And he looks like a good player of spin as well. A particularly good player of spin.
He made 100 against Afghanistan in a test in Lucknow.
Yeah, that's when old Dravid said, have a look at this boy, because he obviously could play spin.
He's 31 years old. He's been around a long time.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, usually that, West Indies players against spin, they say good player of spin, they look at it, use their feet and hit 6s and 4s. He looked to keep it on the carpet.
Curran again bowls to him, swinging in, but beautifully in position with that straight bat once more. And Curran fields in the follow-through. 241 for 4, and he lots of Joss Butler out there, clapping his gauntlets together and urging the players to keep going. Broad's got his hands on his It looks like a samurai with that headband and the great big bow on the back.
Yeah.
It's to go with our Japanese theme from last night. 2:41 for 4.
Yeah.
1 ball to go. Off goes Curran. Bowls is driven. Now can Broad get there? Down he goes. Yes, he can. Well done him. Didn't stop it cleanly as such, but he deliberately pushed the ball out to the mid-on fields when they've taken 1 run. And it's 2:42 for 4. So West Indies 2:27 behind, 28 more, and they've avoided the follow-on.
Yep. Oops.
But then England have just got to keep going, haven't
and
they?
Then what? And so we run that thought forward, keep going, bowl them out after the follow and have a bit of a whack. You don't want to, and then try and bowl them out in a couple of sessions, I suppose.
Yeah, put some real pressure on tomorrow.
Yeah. Perhaps even dangle a carrot, John. No?
Also, you don't see many carrot danglers these days, do you?
Not
You
anymore.
don't. No, you don't.
We did. We used to like a good carrot dangler.
Well, county cricket was all about dangling the carrot.
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah.
It was forever
3-day
being
game.
dangled.
Yeah, it was. And you got some really good games of cricket as a
Yeah,
result.
you did.
2:42 for 4. So 227 behind. Broad again, arms pumping. He's bowling a furious spell from the far end. Moves in and bowls. Pushed into the offside. Oh, there could be a run out here. Let's see. Can mid-off hit the stumps?
Oh.
No. As Brooks there pushed forward. Chase wasn't coming. And that was Wokes this time. It was Sibley earlier today in that position. But Wokes then, let's see if a direct hit would have seen him off. He went a long way down.
Did.
And the throw from Wokes, no, he would just have been in.
Yeah. Well taken by Pope, absolutely.
Yeah.
A great piece of fielding, really.
Anyhow, just any way to get a wicket.
Yeah.
Broad again, past the umpire. Bowls.
Oh,
There's
that's
Peel
close.
for wickets, absolutely plumb. Brooks is out for 68. Broad hasn't bothered looking behind him, so the finger go up. And there's not even the fleetingest conversation between the batsmen about reviewing that. It was absolutely plumb, as you like.
Yeah.
It just kept a bit low, came cutting back, hit him round about the knee roll, bang in front. And that's absolutely plumb.
Yeah, well bowled Stuart Broad.
Deserved that.
Yeah, he did deserve it.
He drove him back.
That's right, stuck to his guns, and as you say, drove him back and back and back. And then that was a good length ball, which he was trapped in the crease on the back foot, just nipped back and kept a tad low. Now this is the chance. This is England's chance here.
Well played Brooks, by the way. That's a really nice 68.
Yeah, it was very nice. As you say, looked very composed. Good player of spin and took his time, got himself in. It was a good knock. As you say, coming here with perhaps something to prove. He's gone a fair way of doing that. But this is the chance for England, because even though Roston Chase has been in, he hasn't particularly sort of really got into his stride. And Blackwood, as we know, even though he's looking to try and change his game and bat for long times, he can just have a rush of blood.
Well, he's up against a new ball. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it.
That's right.
So 28 required to avoid the follow-on. 5 wickets down. They're not there yet.
Couple of quick ones here with a new ball, John.
Yep. And Blackwood goes out to join Chase. Now, in the nets, see, Jofra Archer has been allowed out. Thank goodness for that too, because I can't imagine what it must be like spending 4 days in that hotel room. But he's having a bowl on his own with some staff members in the nets wearing mask and gloves. It's all approved. The West Indies are fine with that. He went for a run this morning at 7 o'clock with members of the staff. He wore PPE when running, which must have been quite something.
Yeah, difficult to get a good lungful through the old mask, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's working to level 1 of the COVID protocols. That means he can touch the ball. He can bowl 6 balls in an empty net and collect the balls and then repeat the process.
Right.
So that is the protocol that we're going.
Well, it's nice to know, nice to know the rules, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, at least he's getting some fresh air. 2:42 for 5. Broad's on his way. Bowls to Blackwood, who defends his first ball. He pushes away into the offside, and there's no run.
I wonder if we've got one of those streaky Stuart Broad spells. I wonder if he's got one in the locker.
He's been sent a photograph talking of PPE. This really brings it home, actually. Syed Iftikhar, who's a good mate of mine, operates in the Derby area. I know Ifty because an intimate operation that Ifty performed on me a few years ago. Men of a certain age and all that. Here comes Broad, and that's pushed away. Not that one out, but the other one out towards mid-off. And there's no run. But he's sent me a photograph. He's actually at the moment operating on patients who have gullet cancer.
Right, okay.
It's a 4 to 5 hour operation. He sent me a photograph of what he has to wear to perform that operation.
Wow.
I mean, he looks like he's in a spaceman's outfit. I mean, 4 hours like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Talented
Ifty and
boys.
all those others like you who are out there, that is just unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
Here's Broad. Bowls. Oh, loose shot from Blackwood.
That is what Blackwood can do. As you said, played beautifully, didn't he, down at Hampshire? Really restrained and got West Indies over the line. But you just always feel, say, short and wide, real big waft, sort of second or third ball his face. Yeah, they're stars, aren't they, John?
Incredible. Oh, you see that? 4 hours dressed like it's absolutely everything on.
Yeah. Like one of those sort of nuclear sort of suit, one of those suits with, you know.
Yeah,
you
like
see
sort
in
of
the fields.
radiation.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, really.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Big shout out to everyone on the front line again.
Absolutely. Well, it's a raise your bat test series, this.
It is.
That's what it's all about. Here comes Broad, bowls, and that's nicely played by Blackwood. The crisp sound there of the new ball hitting the middle of the bat. It's fielded at mid-off. And there's no run. 242 for 5. So success for Broad in that over. That'll cheer him up a bit. And West Indies still need 28 to avoid the follow-on. And another one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, and then, as I say, England are probably thinking, well, that's not going to be the case, but even if we just, 50 beyond the follow-on or something, you know what I mean? Just we can really go out there and try and give it a bit of a dart.
And it's by no means guaranteed that England would enforce it anyway. I mean, they've had a day in the field.
Don't usually.
It's just the pressure of that number, isn't it, that's playing with the West Indies at the moment. They'll think they are much safer if they get past that. But even if England have a lead of 150, that's still something to build on and then build them out tomorrow.
Perhaps have a little change of the order and Stokes and Butler get pushed up a bit.
Yep. The wind's got up.
You're kind of thinking that England have got to at least have 2 sessions, haven't you, to try and force it with the ball in hand.
There's 98 overs tomorrow.
That's a long time.
It's a long day. We're making up for yesterday. Chase on 14. Curran bowls to him. There's a tall man. There's Roston, and he goes on the back foot. It's picked up at cover.
And as we know, the game does accelerate, doesn't it, as it goes into that day 4 and day 5.
Absolutely.
You can get things in clusters.
The wind is blowing at that. There's a black tent over there on the right-hand side. And it's got a plastic window. It's Current bowling. Chase lets that go, and that came back at him. And that'll make him think twice about repeating that. It was a good leave as it turned out, of course, but it did the right things as far as Curran's concerned. Swinging in.
Gazebo? Is it a gazebo?
It is a gazebo.
Yes,
it's a black gazebo with a little plastic window. It's really blowing around in there. I'm not sure who's in there. There's a couple of men I can see. Could be Techies. I wonder if that's our friend on the PA system or not. Perhaps he's in there. He's doing his PA, very nice, good to have him, but he's broadcasting it to nobody.
Close!
Appeals to leg before wicket. This will be close, the finger goes up. I've got a feeling Chase might review it. It's leg side-ish.
He has reviewed
it, but it was full. It looked pretty straight, and this is, if England have got this, it's a big wicket.
To director, we have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out. If I could see the front foot first, please.
They should see this. Where does it pitch? Where's it going to go? I don't think it hit the bat.
Fair delivery. If we could move on to front on spin vision, please.
Richard Kettleborough is the third umpire. So we're looking and watching. Where did it pitch and where was it going on? That's the question for me. He was playing towards...
I'm going to need to see ultra edge when available, please.
He was playing towards square leg.
Let's keep it running through, please. Keep it running through. Running through.
Nothing on ultra edge.
Flat line as the ball goes past the bat. There's no bat involved. Go to ball tracking when ready, please.
What are we saying? Carlos, you've just appeared. Was it pitching?
Not out.
It's pitching outside leg. Yeah.
Got pitching outside leg stump.
I mean, by a fraction. By an absolute
fraction. Go back to Richard on field. Richard's pitching outside leg stump. We're going to get you to overturn your decision. You're on camera now.
Yeah, so not out. That one correctly overturned. I think it would have gone to miss leg stump as well, actually.
Yeah, it just didn't look right. It didn't look straight enough. Or it looked too straight, rather. Yeah, it just looked too straight. Let him to roll it on, and let's see if it would actually also be missing leg, because it's straightened a bit.
Yeah, I suspect it probably would have done from there, but Curran's screwing up his face there as he looks at the replay, but well, it's given. I mean, Chase has got to play straighter than that, or he's going to get himself in trouble. 242 for 5. It's over his back now. Tall man. Curran moves in, bowls to him. Oh, an inside edge, almost playing that into his stumps, and that'll run away for 4 runs. It's in front of the pavilion in the distance. She tense again now. Suddenly, a couple, a wicket or two, and just focuses the mind.
As soon as the second new ball came out, it's just like a new pitch has been relayed, and everything is happening.
Your friend played well, though. We like Brooks. Very straight
All
bat.
of them
Beautifully
are my
straight
friends,
bat.
Aggers. All of them are friends.
He seems to be a particular favourite.
Yeah,
of yours.
but nah, gutted that he didn't get
Yeah.
a chance to get his first Test century.
Chase on 18. Curran bowls him. Oh, another inside edge. Well, an ambitious drive there. He's aiming out through extra cover. Inside edge into the pad. Curran's hair's hanging out over his headband now. So he walks back to his mark again. 246 for 5. So Broad having taken 1 wicket with a new ball. 24 needed by West Indies to avoid the follow-on, but they could still end up quite a long way behind here if they managed to avoid that particular milestone. Off goes Curran, left arm over the wicket, bowls on the leg stump. Oh, that startled Chase. He ripped his bottom hand off the handle there as if that just exploded at him, and he gets a run to backward square leg. I wonder if that was in different bounce or whether he just misread it, but anyway, that was all very exciting. 247 for 5, 23 needed to avoid being invited to follow on. No guarantee, of course, that England would do that. Still 28 overs to go today and 98 overs to go tomorrow, so lots of time left in this game.
Aggers, did they have a roller on at tea or lunch?
Now that's a very good question, and I was interviewing Johnny Grave at tea. There was a chugging, but the heavy roller was on the pitch for the next game. But no, they wouldn't roll it. They roll between innings at the start of the day, don't they?
Yeah, it's just misbehaving out of nowhere. Balls jumping. You saw one go between bat and pad for Brooks when Broad was bowling. I think first over the second new ball. Just all happening after nothing for the first 3 days.
Now Chase is taking guard. He's facing Broad, who's very fired up from the pavilion end. Anderson end. 247 for 5. Here he comes. A bowl to the right-handed Chase, who comes forward. And Broad's able to field that just to the right-hand side. There's almost white-coloured pitch now. It's like real pale cardboard. And pass coming down, kicking away a bit of detritus there that Broad has brought with him on his way in. Silence around. And Root sweeps his hair back. He's got that very faded England cap. It's a very faded badge too. Broad on his way, moves in, bowls, and John Chase on the front foot goes a quick single. Fielder throws up at the... He doesn't in the end, but he was going to throw at the non-striker's end, but there was nobody backing up, so he decided against it, which was probably just as well. It was Wokes again, but Sibley had no chance to back a throw up. And you give away overthrows against Stuart Broad at your peril.
Good old Grumpy.
He doesn't appreciate it. So I think Wokes probably thought that I've got another month at least in isolation with this chap. I think I'm going to probably not risk it.
Smart chap.
I think so. 248 for 5. 22 needed to avoid the follow-on. Back goes Blackwood. It's fielded at cover. They run 248 for 5. Really interesting day's cricket. Joseph, 32, the night watchman, played well. Shea Hope, 25. He fell to Sam Curran. Craig Brathwaite. It's caught the ball by Stokes, who put a marathon spell in of bouncers, basically. Brathwaite got 75 and turned one away in the leg side, leading edge, and was caught by Stokes, the bowler. Broad runs up. Bowls it, bowled him! 2 wickets with a second new ball for Stuart Broad, and this game's not over yet. West Indies still need 22 to avoid any prospect of the follow-on. But there, it's kept low. That has kept cruelly low, and too good for a new batsman who was on the back foot anyway. But that scuttled.
Baggers, that was nasty. Jeez, that was unplayable.
I think so.
It's one of those ones that you always see just miss the stumps outside off, and you always see get one on the stumps. That was unplayable.
Well, that will send a little message to the West Indies as well, that even if you manage to avoid the follow-on, you might have some batting to do tomorrow afternoon, because that was hard. I mean, he was back, he was hanging back a bit, but even so, that kept very low.
Yeah, even if he'd played 4 days, that would have gone under the bat.
Well, I say that's given them something to think about and certainly lifted England's spirits. 248 for 6. So 22 needed to avoid the follow-on. I'm not sure when England see that as well. They think, do we want to bat last on this? Perhaps we'll bat a second time. But it's the first ball really that's done that, to be fair. But that did keep low, and that just sends a little bit of a shiver through the spine of the batsman when they see that.
A lot has changed in a very short space of time, and it is a challenge for this West Indies batting lineup going forward. Everyone has been working diligently to get a start, and you see guys getting in and putting a real price on the wicket, and they've done that consistently. However, you see a lot of 30s, 40s. We had a 70 from Craig, a 60 from Brooks. This is where the Dom Sibley type grind and graft is appreciated.
Look at the new batsman, Darrich. He's already looking at that pitch and he's tapping away and gardening away. He'll have seen that from the dressing room. So you could see already what's in his mind. Jeez. But that hit about a quarter way up the stump. Maybe not even that. Really kept... It nipped back and it didn't shoot along the ground. That'd be an exaggeration, but it kept very, very low, and for someone not yet off the mark, I think it's unplayable.
A similar length ball to Brooks in the first over went over the stumps, and it was uncomfortable, and this could be a very tricky period of play.
248 for 6. Broad's on his way again, running in hungrily from the far end. Is there and bowls the right-handed Darrich. It's a flyer. They're appealing for caught behind. Batsman's going nowhere. It's been given not out. That took off. It was a deliberate short of a length delivery. Roots convinced he heard something, but Broad, the master of the review, is already trudging back to his mark. That took off from just short. I mean, it's great bowling. You've got a batsman come out who's just seen the one before him get out to a ball that's kept low from a length. He'd be tapping around. So what do? You give him one round his nose. I mean, that's terrific bowling.
Proper test cricket.
One ball to go in the over. Darrich looks up to see Broad on his way. In he comes now and bowls to him. He comes cutting back. He whips that bottom hand off the handle. And very quickly, Pope runs away from short leg to field. Terrific bowling from Stuart Broad. 248 for 6. West Indies need 22 to avoid the follow-on. Lots of play left today. 27 overs and 98 overs to go tomorrow. Carlos, you're enjoying this. You strap yourself in for some more entertainment, and I'm going to make way for Simon Mann.
Entertainment it is. All of a sudden this new ball spell thus far has breathed new life into the test match. We were going to bat away and turn into a dreary draw, and all of a sudden counting down the wickets versus the runs to avoid the follow-on. Simon, where's your money?
Well, I think West Indies will get past the 270 mark, and then it's a question of England's approach now, but they might not. The way things are going, so it's amazing how quickly a game can change with the ball. And Curran thought he had one in the previous over as well, that LBW shout pitching just outside the leg stump. Curran seeking to add to his 2 wickets, really swinging it back in onto the front pad. His best method. That was very wide, just pushing it across the batsman Chase there, and it's through to Butler, and that's time worn. Curran dismissal, swinging it back into the right-hander, and hitting him on the front pad. Because you have that indecision as well. If it doesn't swing back, it just keeps going, and you play at it and you nick it through. That's the other way. That's what Curran brings. 248 for 6. West Indies 22 runs away from avoiding being asked to follow on. Curran bowls across Chase, and Chase leans forward and lets it go. But it's the mode of the dismissal, I think, that in the previous over, that one keeping low. And one or two have bounced as well with this new ball.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't seen anything happen at lunch, anything happen at tea, but as soon as the second new ball was thrown into Broad's hands, all sorts started to happen, and it was very unfortunate for Blackwood.
What it means is the game's back on here. Curran bowls, and Chase goes back and guides that nicely into the offside, and there's no run. Of course, 6 down, but one of those wickets is lower order player, so there's still Jason Holder to come for West Indies. They've still got some batting. Chase and Dowrich perfectly capable of putting together a significant partnership, and Holder too.
Yeah, I think one of these three, Chase, Dowrich or Holder, just get through this period and get to the end of play.
Chase on 20, Curran bowls him full, drives nicely through the offsides, going out towards the boundary, might well go for 4. Bess is after it, it does go for 4. And he's about 2 metres behind it as it hits the rope on the offside. Well, he was looking for that swing, Sam Curran, but in the end it was a nice juicy full ball, and it was put away expertly by Roston Chase.
Yeah, always love to see that. You're being challenged, your technique is being challenged, and you still have the presence of mind to get away the bad delivery. As easy as it sounds and as nicely as it looks, takes a lot of doing.
And here goes Curran into bowl to Chase, and Chase leaves it outside the off stump, taken by Butler. So it's just past 5 o'clock. Play can go on until 7 o'clock this evening. There are 26 overs left in the day's play after this one. The West Indies target here, just to get past the follow-on, but just to occupy the crease for as long as they possibly can, is take as many overs as they can out of the game. Because if England were able to bowl West Indies out for 290 or 300, here goes Curran bowling to Chase. Chase rather squared up by that one off the back foot, runs it down into the offside towards backward point, and there's no run. There's always the possibility of England going out and scoring some quick runs in their second innings and then saying, right, West Indies, here we go, 310 in 320, say, in 2 sessions. As we get extra overs tomorrow as well, and we have to bowl them as well. We have to have all 98 overs tomorrow. Yeah,
it's important, as this is first target, I think, 270. You need to fight through this period and get as close to 270 as possible, surpass 270, and then look to bat till the end of play today. If these two can do that, can bat to the end of play today, then tomorrow you need to be selfish. You need to look for that red inker, bat 90 overs, get 160, 170, potentially even a double 100. You would have batted England out of the game. You would have regained the series, and you would have put some miles in the legs of the England bowlers. So this first target obviously is most important, getting through this spell, getting to 270. But once you get past this, then it's time to be real selfish as a batting unit, and for one of these guys to go on and get a massive individual score.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Broad with the new ball, it looks a tricky challenge at the moment. Dowrich is on 0. Broad's taken 2 wickets with the new ball, and he's off again from the Jimmy Anderson end. Past the umpire now, bowls to Dowrich, and Dowrich checks the shot there, plays it into the offside towards Crawley at cover, and there's no run. Dowrich praying he doesn't get one like Blackwood did.
It'll always be at the back of your mind.
That ball that bowled Blackwood out was the first ball to hit the stumps this match in the 247th over in Southampton. We had 10 players out bowled in 345 overs.
Dowrich yet to score. There are 2 slips in the gully and a short leg. And here is Broad to bowl to Dowrich. Dowrich is playing that firmly back to the bowler, and Broad knocks it down with his left hand and deflects it up towards mid-on. And there is no run. We've only had 16 wickets so far in the game. Of course, effectively this is the 3rd day. The day lost yesterday. People in the south, they're hard to believe he didn't have any play yesterday. They were absolutely glorious in the south. 2.52 for 6. Broad bowls, and he's struck on the pads. Another big shout for LBW. He's given him out. He's given him out. Umpire Goff. And Dowrich is walking down the pitch to consult with Roston Chase. Broad absolutely confident. It's rare that he isn't, mind you. It has been reviewed.
TV
With 5 seconds to go.
We have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out. If I could see the front foot first, please. Thank you. Fair delivery. Gone to front on spin vision, please.
Right, we're seeing front on now. A little bit high. Might be umpire's
Okay, just
call.
take that back a little bit, please, if we can.
It's quite a small man. Hit him above the
Okay, there's
knee
no
roll.
bat involved. No bat involved. We'll go straight through to ball tracking when available, please.
Big moment in the game, this. It's hitting.
It's pitching outside off, impact in line. Wickets is hitting. Going to go back to Michael on field. Michael, you can save your original decision. You're on camera now.
There we go. So Dowrich has gone. Broad has got 3 wickets with the new ball. West Indies 18 away from saving the follow-on. My initial reaction there was umpire's call, but actually, according to the technology, it was hitting the top of leg stump. Dowrich was a little off the ground. He was on his toes, and it hit him above the knee roll, but he's only a small man. So Broad super confident with that one. One of those Broad where he's almost celebrating before the umpires raise the finger. And obviously that confidence can sometimes you try to persuade the umpire to raise the finger. And umpire Goff, he's had a pretty good game. Did respond, and the technology backed him up.
And this is Stuart Broad. Looked ineffective for the majority of the first part of this innings. Second new ball comes along and bang, bang, bang. And he's really opened the game up. Jason Holder, last recognised batsman. And if West Indies lose a wicket now, then you start to think that England in the ascendancy, they'll probably bowl again. And hope for 2 or 3 tonight. It could be a tricky last day's play. It's all changed in a matter of 6-7 overs.
What have we had? And in terms of wickets per runs per balls since the new ball was taken?
So the new ball's taken at 235 for 4 from 80, so it's now 252 for 7, so 17 runs, 3 wickets. Stuart Broad 3 for 1 in his last 14 balls.
Well, he's turned it round. He really
13
has.
balls.
He's broken the game open as far as England are concerned. And West Indies' last 2 recognised batsmen are together. 2 very good players, it has to be said. Chase and Holder, and Drinks are on the field, and everyone's taking stock really. I think the Drinks break has caught the ground staff by surprise, because it's taken them a while to bring out the brushes and that long white pole that they use to mark the creases. I mean, tea interval didn't seem that long ago. It was only 55 minutes ago, I suppose, because we're having extended play today. That's the reason the Drinks break has been taken. So lots has happened of late. Plenty of highlights to catch up with. Video clips available now on the BBC Sport website and app. And today at the Test, BBC 2 at 7 o'clock tonight. And it's also on Iplayer. I know it clashes with the FA Cup semi-final between Chelsea and Manchester United on BBC 2, which I've got a feeling that Carlos is going to be watching later.
Yep, team news just released.
All right. And feeling a bit tense, no doubt, as well.
Yeah, always, never ever confident.
And that's on BBC One, the football, and on 5 Live. So if you are going to watch the football and you want to catch up with the cricket highlights, it's on the iPlayer. You can catch up with it afterwards or at your leisure. But the game is now at a very interesting stage where England, it's not inconceivable that England now have got sort of a victory chance either way, even if West Indies do save the follow-on. Probably a bit harder to win it that way, but not impossible, especially you see with this pitch where with the new ball it's been tricky. One roll on the ground, and Broad's got a couple to bounce as well, and he's that sort of bowler. We've seen it so often in his career where he just gets some momentum into his bowling, and he feels irresistible for a while.
Yeah, that's a challenge with Stuart Broad. There are bowlers that take wickets, they'll take a 5 or they'll take consistent 4s, short broad legs, bags fulls of wickets. When he gets wickets, he gets them 3 and 4 at once, and he could oftentimes end with a 5 or 6. As the Aussies was he could run to them with an 8. And his tail is up. He has 3 already. If he can break this partnership to give him 4, he'd be looking at a 6 for having looked ineffective for majority of the first innings. That's just the quality of the man.
What are his figures overall? Results?
3 for 65, so he was 0 for 64. Yeah, and 3 for 1 in was 14 balls.
And he's up to now in his career, where are we? I've got the stats here. He's up to 488 test wickets in his 139th test match. And Holder is taking guard out there. A very long drinks break. Ground staff gradually making their way off the field. A lot resting here on Holder and Chase for West Indies, with Roach and Gabriel to come. And the ball new. You can just imagine if there were spectators in the ground now on a sunny Sunday in July, they really would be roaring Stuart Broad into the crease now. He's bowling from the Anderson end to Jason Holder, his first ball, and Holder seems to have all the time in the world, just calming it down. What's the fuss out here? Pushes that away into the offside. There's no run.
He does look a lot more confident in Dulwich. They just always got the impression when Dow came up to bat that he was a little unsure. Obviously, just saying Black would lose his wicket with one that rolled along the ground. Then he got a short ball, and he always looked as though he was never settled. Jason's only faced 1 ball, but in behind it nicely and looking a lot more confident.
2 slips in the gully and a short leg. Broad goes in to bowl to Holder, and Holder gets a straight ball which he leans forward to and plays quietly up towards mid-on, and there's no run. I can see Stokes loosening up. Now it's second slip. How many overs has Curran bowled with the new ball, Andy?
3.
It may well be that England go to Stokes. Root looking for further breaks with Holder, of course, at the other end, and it's a good battle in this series between those two.
Stokes won this round for sure with the bat.
Definitely. So it might be we see Stokes is loosening up as well. Broad goes in, bowls to Holder. Holder gets a straight ball which he defends up towards mid-on, and there's no run. So another successful over for Stuart Broad. 3 for 65 from 22 overs. 252 for 7. West Indies need 18 more to avoid being asked to follow on. England needs 3 wickets if they are to try to enforce it. I mean, the teams don't like enforcing the follow-on these days. They like to give their bowlers a bit of rest. But I think in these circumstances, England would have to enforce it.
Yeah, I think time is against them. If they hadn't lost the whole day yesterday, the third day, they'd have a lot more time to execute different plans. And now it's all hands to the pump, and they need to get a win. They just need to get back out there and make one last effort. Obviously having to take 3 wickets in this first innings firstly.
Yeah, we're just seeing the dismissal of Blackwood again. England could have done one of those last Sunday, Carlos.
You could always do one of those. 87 overs in, get the second new ball, bowl it on the stump, it rolls along the ground under the bat. You'd all love that.
It also shows how fickle this game is. You know, a week ago Blackwood was winning the test match to West Indies. A week later, Castle by a grubber for naught. Here is Stokes into the attack, bowls very wide to Ross and Chase. That was a rather stiff first delivery from Ben Stokes. You can understand it as well. I mean, he's a very fit professional cricketer, extremely fit. But he did bowl 11 overs in a row in the afternoon session. And, also, miles in his legs batting in this match, 176, the slowest Test 100. He actually said afterwards, he said, the thing that delighted him most, that he was able to bat for 300 balls. He said, I never thought I'd ever be able to do that. Stokes bowls outside the off stump, nothing from Chase. He's on 24.
And that's why he mentioned how important Dom Sibley was for his knock, because with no momentum in the game and he wasn't flowing as he would like, as a flair player and a positive player as he is, it's easy to chase after one to try to get a bit of momentum, and he stayed patient and then obviously flipped the switch and moved the gears through as he went on.
He tries again, past umpire Illingworth now, up to the stumps, goes in and bowls to Chase, and Chase gets one on his hip and knocks it away down towards fine leg. And goes through for a single. 253 for 7. West Indies 17 runs away from being asked to avoid being asked to follow on. I say that, always avoid being asked to follow on, because it's not always enforced. People say to avoid the follow on. It's not, obviously not obligatory to do so. It's just there for the captain of the fielding side if he wants to do it. Alistair Cook is coming in alongside me. How many times did you enforce the follow on a test match? Can you remember that or not? The reason I ask is it doesn't happen that often these days. Here is Stokes bowling full. Oh, good delivery, goes past the outside edge of Holder's bat.
I can't remember how many times I did. I did it occasionally. Normally.
But do you prefer not to?
You'd prefer not to, because the bonus of giving the bowlers rest and their feet up, even for 40, 50 overs, you just get, I think, it outweighs the carry on the field. You end up spending quite a long time in the field then. Like England have already done 90 overs. This is a slightly different situation.
Stokes to Holder. Holder plays calmly to backward point, and there's no run.
With the time restraints now, with the fact that we lost a whole day of rain. I don't like the fact Ben Stokes is holding his midriff, but hopefully it's just a stitch or something. But yeah, so this one you wouldn't follow on, because there's, you don't want to lose the game. Obviously if West Indies do pass the follow on, they could still win the game, because I think England will be quite brave.
Yeah. Stokes bowls, and Holder plays nicely through the offside, finds the gap probably for 2 runs. Chase out towards the deep cover boundary. Yeah, I mean, you, for example, when you chased in Abu Dhabi, I think you lost, how many wickets did you lose in that game? Probably lost 5 or 6, something like that, trying to chase 99, because you have to go for it, don't you? And England will go for it if they do have to chase something like that on the final day, the final evening of the game. Right, it's nicely set up, 15 to avoid. England need 3 wickets. Chase 25, Holder 2. Stokes all right? I'm not sure. Anyway, he's just grimacing a bit. Ishigua's coming in now.
Yeah, hopefully it's just something 8 or 10. He doesn't feel great, but it does look a little bit more serious than that. I'm hoping that Andy, the stats man, can find out how many times I did enforce the follow on. I was heavily criticised by Jonathan Agnew once for not enforcing the follow on at Headingley against New Zealand. Heavily criticised I was. I mean, proper battle. We won very comfortably in the end. Graham Swan got 5 for. Aggers wanted to go home, and he didn't want to spend another day, and that was the only reason.
Here comes Stuart Broad again then, bowling to Chase, beats the edge, through to Butler. So you just love watching cricket when Stuart Broad is on a roll like this.
It is brilliant, and there's one thing you could say: when Stuart Broad finally stops playing cricket for England, he'll be able to look at himself and say, I delivered when it mattered the most. At crucial moments in series and games, and that must be a brilliant thing for him to look back on with great fondness.
Arms pumping as he's past the umpire. Bowls, Chase drives. They're pushing through for a single. The throw comes in, and he's in. Is Jason Holder.
That was out. That
needed
was out.
Needed to hit. Chris Wokes missed the stumps.
But I think, sorry, Isha, I thought
say by a few inches, but
yeah, I think Holder thought he was going to throw at the Chase's end, the danger end, but he went for the other end. Actually, Holder's a bit quicker than I thought.
I think he would have been out though. You're right.
Oh.
It was a tight one, very, very tight. Things happening here at Old Trafford.
It's amazing how Test cricket, isn't it? When not much happened, and it seemed West Indies were cruising past the follow on, and everything was just going to be quite a comfortable thing. Then suddenly 1 wicket changes the momentum, the new ball, and this game is on a knife edge, isn't it? The series just teetering. Can England knock the door down?
Yeah, they've certainly made the most of this new ball. No question of that. They're into the 9th over of it as Broad comes in on angle. Holder back and across, defends to the offside with his long strides to the ball. No run.
It's a real shame that Aggers isn't on air, not for any of the fact that I'm not with you, because we would have had a brilliant argument for the next 20 minutes about that follow-on at Headingley. Because he will not, to this day,
Let it go.
let it go. It will not let it go.
You enforce a follow-on 3 times from 19 opportunities.
To the tune of Frozen, as Broad bowls. Holder allows it to pass. Good length delivery outside the off stump.
And just sorry, one more quick go on that. How many times when I didn't enforce the follow-on, like we had the opportunity, we win the game or lose the game? We must have won most of those games. Or there must have been some draws.
Hang on, no, I need to check my stats. I'm not sure I've got the right filters on this. Give me another minute.
Okay, again, blaming technology.
It wasn't that many times.
I didn't think it was that many times. We weren't that good.
Broad, past the umpire. Holder defends. It hits the outer part of the bat, goes to point. No run.
Sorry, I've done you a great disservice. 3 out of 6 opportunities.
I was going to say 19. I was only thinking 19 times.
I thought I'd put the filter on for a 200-run lead, but I hadn't.
So, yeah, I captained 59 times. And I lost quite a lot of those games, so I thought the other 19. Anyway, so it's 3 out of 6. And the results of those 3 out of 6? Or do you need another filter?
It looks like 2 wins and a draw.
Holder still at the crease as he's backing across now and covering the ball to the offside.
Sorry, when I didn't enforce the follow-on. Sorry, I'm not letting this go. This is the bugbear.
No, you need to get it right.
I need to get it right.
Yeah.
And also, so does Andy, to be honest with you.
Come on, Andy. Pressure on.
So what was the New Zealand game? Was that the Headingley?
Headingley, 2013.
Was that a 4-day game?
Could have been, yeah. There's a lot of rain about.
That didn't come up in the 200-run lead, because it was a 180-run lead. But England won by 247 on that occasion.
Joffre's been let out of his room.
Yeah.
Sorry, has that been said already?
I don't know if it's been said. Yeah, it has.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, he's training in the nets as Stokes runs away from us. He bowls, Chase leaves outside the off stump. Got 2 slips in the gully, point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. Well, actually a man just in front of square and a man down at fine leg. That was Stokes. Gets to the top of his mark. Broad tosses the ball to him. An exciting passage of play here at Old Trafford as Stokes turns the top of his mark, pushes away. Bowls now. Chase defends to the offside. Strong breeze blowing here. There's West Indies 256 for 7. They're 14 away from avoiding the follow-on, trailing by 213.
Still hurting, isn't it? Every time he finishes his the follow-through of his actually just let go of the ball, he then grabs something in his around the stomach area.
Into his delivery stride now, full. Chase drives to cover, who dives to his left, picks the ball up and throws in one motion Sam Curran to Joss Butler, no run. Let it go. That's just reminded me of Mitchell Johnson. Do you know the story behind this?
No.
When he was terrorising you guys in Australia.
Don't tell me he was singing
13,
Frozen
14.
songs.
That was the song that was going through his mind.
He was definitely letting he was definitely letting it go.
Yes. Chase defends to the offside.
I thought that'd have been more apt in 2010 where you couldn't quite hit the cut strip. No, he was letting it go right then.
Yeah. Bowls to the left, bowls to the right.
He bowled quick in 2013.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah, it was incredible, really. But yeah, he genuinely said that helped to settle him.
I'm glad he found it out then, not early on in his career.
What about you when you were batting? Were there any songs in your head ever? As Stokes comes in on an angle, he bowls. Chase whips it over to the leg side forcefully, and we'll pick up 4. Just slightly straying in line. Ben Stokes he kicks the ground
and retreats to the top of his mark, but he is grimacing and he's not happy. Chase moves to 30, 260 for 7.
That's a lovely shot from Chase. Dismissive. He's been quite calm, and then that ball was going down leg stump. He's really West Indian flair, flicking at a wrist to hit it. He hit that hard. He hit it hard over mid-wicket. And that follow-on target's 10 away.
Here comes Stokes again. Chase defends, and he is struggling here, Ben Stokes, as he comes through now, hands on hips. At the end of the over, it's 260 for 7. 10 overs of this second new ball have been bowled. West Indies need another 10 runs to avoid the follow-on, and he's wincing. Doesn't look good for England's talisman, as he's now going to take a drink. Oh no, he's not going to take a drink. I thought he was. I thought the man that had just come on, Jack Leach, was handing him a drink, but he's going to go and have a chat to Joe Root now.
It's a surprise this. Chris Wokes is coming on from James Anderson, saying, I would have loved to see Stuart Broad one more at least. One more, and if he'd bowled 5, it'd have been his 6th. So yeah, I would have tried to give him one more there. He just had that knack, didn't he? He looked like he was picking up a wicket at any stage.
Just seeing Ben Stokes walk off the pitch now. He was grabbing at his rib, and he's disappearing below towards the dressing room.
Stuart Broad's spell, either side of the new ball, 4 overs with the old ball, then the 5 with the new ball, 3 for 14 from 9 overs. Those first 4 of the 7 shortest overs he's bowled in the last 11 years, and then a spell of 3 for 1 in 14 balls with the new ball.
Yeah, I forgot about those few before he bowled with the new ball. So yeah, I'll take that one back, Stuart. I didn't realise you bowled a 10 overs.
Craig Overton is on in place of Ben Stokes as Chris Wokes does a few kicks. Now shimmies towards us into his stride, bowling from the James Anderson ends to Holder, who edges, but it's all along the ground to second slip. A bit of shape on offer for Chris Wokes. Yeah, back to that. And batting out in the middle. So you never really...
Not really.
Had any tunes
no,
in your head?
I never had like let it go through my head or anything like that. No. I spoke to myself when I was, watch the ball, commit and watch the ball, as the probably where Chris Wokes was halfway through his run-up, I would say.
Holder edges and caught at first slip. Chris Wokes into the attack and has an immediate impact. And the captain is gone.
That's why he changed the bowling. What do I know sitting up here? Actually, Chris Wokes deserved that. He's bowled really well. For his first game back, and he's just got a bit of a way shape. Holder pushed at it, nice comfortable catch. First hit with Joe Root. And what a turnaround! What a turnaround from England. And those 10 runs will look a long way away now with Kemar Roach coming out to bat. And Jason Holder's gone for 2, which is actually, he hasn't batted that well on this tour actually, and struggled in the warm-up games. Got a couple last week, actually looked nice, but hasn't spent any time in the middle. So England, we were talking, weren't we, off at tea time, what's going to happen here? And they have just grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck. Stuart Broad has done the damage, and we've got a serious game on, even if they don't pass the follow on.
But it is incredible, isn't it, Test cricket? England desperately needing wickets to stay in this series. It's almost coming too easy at the moment.
It's not coming.
If I can say that.
Well, they've earned their right, 90 overs. Yeah. They've done the time in the dirt, but they've just they've got this 1 wicket, and I think we spoke about in the beginning of the series, would West Indies batting be consistent enough throughout the 15 days of the game to be good enough for those 15 days, and they were just good enough at Southampton. I think England will be kicking themselves for those 2 batting performances there, that collapse of 5 for 30 at Southampton. And you just when you play against this West Indies side, you just think that they have a collapse in them.
But that's what I mean, I guess, when I say it's almost coming too easy. It's because they've been so disciplined right up until the last sort of 10 overs. And, you know, fair play to England. They're bowling in the right areas. They're getting the ball talking, a bit of movement off the pitch.
It's just that new ball, isn't it? This pitch is just offering now, coming the end of the day 4, that balls from Stuart Broad nipping back the Blackwood. No one's hitting that.
2 slips in the gully to Roach as Wokes bowls wide of the off stump. It continues to swing afterwards away from Jos Buttler, who takes it shoulder high. So trailing by 209, the West Indies, 260 for 8. They are. And another 10 runs required to avoid the follow-on.
Yeah, we've got a game on. We have a game on.
Yeah. Wokes runs towards us now. Wind blowing through his hair as he bowls to Roach, who looks to play. It beats the outside edge through to the keeper.
It could be a little game of cat and mouse coming now with two balls left of the over. They'll want Roach on strike, so they might spread the field, offering the one. Obviously, not that many runs to play with, so we could have an interesting, 10 minutes with field placings. What's going through Joe Root's mind?
Roach taps his bat down. Now high as he defends to the offside, and cover comes around, stopping from taking a single. So one more ball left of this over. Field unchanged.
It is funny, isn't it, when something gets close, like the follow-on, the camera's just always on the captain's face. Whether it's the declaration, he's sitting in the change room, the camera's just doesn't leave him alone. Here, always on him, aren't they?
Bright blue sunnies on his cap as he now crouches at first slip. Roach, does he get something on it? No, as it goes through to Buttler. But he did look to play that down the leg side. And that is the end of the over from Wokes. West Indies remain on 260 for 8 then, and trailing by 209. I've seen you a lot today, Cookie.
Yeah, we've been kind of following each other around. We've actually, after this, we're going straight back to do TV, aren't we? So, I mean, I feel a bit sorry for you. No, I feel sorry for you. You get stuck with me for an hour and a half.
We're going to have to find things to talk about. Always stuff to talk about. I asked people what they were up to this Sunday afternoon. I got a message from Laura Moore. I'm listening to TMS on headphones and knitting, whilst the husband and number 1 daughter watch Derby versus Leeds on TV.
I hope she means the oldest daughter, not her favourite daughter.
Oh dear, brilliant. And Danny Wyatt also messaged it's her mum's birthday today, so they're all out in the garden, hanging out, the Wyatts. Nearly into the evening, aren't we? Yeah.
Yesterday,
5.
Sorry, Isha. Shannon Gabriel missed a glaring run out yesterday, which would have had England bowl out for 440. They added 29 more runs. Proved extremely important in terms of the follow-on target.
As Sam Curran comes into the attack now, bowls down the leg side, goes through to Buttler. Chase looking to work it away, but doesn't get anything on it. 3 slips in play, a deep point, extra cover, mid-off. Stuart Broad shining the ball there at the moment, mid-on, deep square and fine leg.
Yeah, so they spread the field, haven't they? Trying to get try and get Chase off strike, but still the catches in. So if he does nick it, chance to get him out.
Curran bowls to Chase on the back foot, pushing that to mid-on. Talking about the telly, today at the Test on air at 7 p.m. on BBC 2 tonight, available to watch on the iPlayer as well. There'll be plenty to catch up on with all these wickets falling. Glum face of Shannon Gabriel at the moment. We're looking at the TV and see him in the dressing room looking very upset indeed. As Chase works this off his pad out to deep square. Will come through for 1 as the leg by is signalled. 261 for 8, trailing by 208. 9 runs away from the follow-on as Sam Curran makes a slow walk back to the top of his mark.
Interesting way for Sam Curran. Could he have gone for Don Bess? Tossed a couple out to see whether Roston Chase decided I can do this in a hit or two. Bit of a talking about dangling carrots, when tough as was earlier, where they could have dangled a carrot there, but he's gone for the swing of Curran.
The left armour bowls now. Stuck on the pads. Will it be given? No.
Has that pitched on? Is that pitched on the stumps, or is it pitched outside?
Well, it's Kemar Roach on strike.
James, we're on.
They are going to review.
TV umpire to director. We have a player review for LBW. Original decision is not out. If I could see the front foot first, please.
You're hearing the voice of Richard Kettleborough, the third umpire.
Thank you. Fair delivery. If we could move on to front on spin vision, please.
Front foot is absolutely fine. Is there any bat involved now? That's what we'll see. Nice shaping delivery back into the right-hander. Pitches in line.
Okay, I'm just going to need to see ultra edge, please, just to confirm.
I think it's pitched in line. It hits him on the knee roll.
Jeff, you're absolutely spot on when we were doing the... Who was it? Was it Chase?
Roll it through, please.
Oh, hit it.
Yeah,
Roll
he's
it
got
through.
some inside edge on that, I think.
Okay, we have a... Just roll that... rock and roll that right back, please, just before the ball gets to the bat. And then take it forward again, please.
It looks like...
Okay, freeze it there. Freeze it there.
Yeah.
We have a clear spike as the ball passes the bat. I'm going to go back to Richard on field. Richard, I've got a clear spike. You can stay with your original decision of not out. You're on camera now.
So England waste a review. As Sam Curran shakes his head, walking back to the top of his mark. Reviews remaining 2 each now.
Sorry, I don't think anyone... I don't know. I don't think Richard Illingworth gave that out for the inside edge. I think he thought it pitched outside leg stump. I don't think any of them were talking about the nick.
Inside edge,
yeah, no one was. I don't think anyone... Did he hit it? I don't think that was even on their minds.
Curran bowls to Roach, who defends, comes forward and pushes it to the leg side. No run. Yeah, he's getting some nice shape though. That's what you like to see from Sam Curran. The new ball. Slight breeze blowing across from left to right, so it is the right end for him to bowl. The Brian Statham end. As Joe Root's just signalling from first slip to send out the man to deep backward square. Pushes away now, does Curran. He hustles in, bowls. Roach again across the stumps and defends to the leg side. At the end of the over, it's 261 for 8. 12 overs have been bowled with this new ball, trailing by 208. The West Indies. In fact, England have lost another review, so they've only got one review remaining. And the West Indies 9 off, avoiding the follow-on. A few more words from you, Alistair, and then it will be Jonathan Agnew.
As if what I called for 20 minutes ago about talking about following on and that Headingley game. I wonder if Adam's just changed the rota so we're allowed a 5-minute conversation about it. If Aggers was listening backstage. Hi, Aggers.
I'm afraid I wasn't glued to your every word, Alistair, if I'm honest with you. I was having a cup of tea and a lie down next door. Yeah. I'm sure it was interesting.
Well, if you were, I mean, you could have gone to sleep if you listened to me. We were talking about following
yes,
on.
I know, and the Headingley one. Skinny of your teeth, that one, wasn't it? 261 for 8. And we've got Wokes coming from the far end, moving in bowling, short and wide of the off stump, cracked away into the offside. They'll take 1. So 8 runs needed by the West Indies. 207 behind. Only Big Shannon Gabriel to come.
And anything can happen with Big Shannon.
Isn't it great how tense it is? Do you know what this game so far has been a really bad advert for?
You're going to explain?
I will. Here's Wokes bowling outside the off stump. He plays no stroke. So he goes to keeper. 4-day test cricket.
Yes. Yeah, because it would be shaking hands. Well, we'll be shaking hands by now.
Yeah. But also the pace that the 5-day game is played at, isn't it? And you appreciate that they can go quiet for a little while. But then when something happens and you get the excitement and the tension, it is magnified. It obviously seems more because of the lull that's been before it. In comes Wokes and he bowls and plays slightly across the pad. Down to mid-on it goes. I'm told that Ben Stokes is about to come back on the field. Not quite sure why he was off it, but
well, if you weren't lying down watching, he went off. It looked like he was a bit injured from bowling in the stomach, on the sternum.
He's put a lot of effort in today, hasn't he? Crikey. He really has. Leaning on the advertising hoardings there, waiting for the moment. As Wokes moves in once more, and he bowls a good one. Outside the off stump, a grope from Roach. And the ball was past that outside edge in a flash into Butler's gloves. Terrific how tense this is, because it just changes the dynamic. If West Indies do avoid the follow-on, even by one, so England have a lead of 199. The time ticking away tonight. The obvious question to you is coming next. Wokes over the wicket, bowls, and that's well played by Roach. Getting his head over that and playing to it off. Who is going to open the batting for England?
Ooh, I wasn't expecting that.
There you go.
Could be aggressive, wouldn't it? They do need to be aggressive, actually. They do need to. Would you say cheers, Dom? You're 100 in the first innings.
Yep.
But you probably...
Up it goes, Zach.
Yeah. Actually, that's I wasn't expecting that.
Wokes a bit wider of the crease. Ball's outside the off stump. No stroke again from Roach, so 8 needed to avoid the follow-on. I don't know if it's ruthless or it's just a team decision.
No.
It's a...
Was there 19 overs left? We probably will get close to 19 overs, won't we?
Take a couple out.
Take a couple of that out. So say, if England... You say there's a lead of 190. That'll take another 10 overs and 9 overs today for them to bat. You'd only want to bat for 20 overs, wouldn't you? So you'd have 90, 85 at them, or a few more, so you just have that last second new ball.
What do you want to score? 120, 130 at that time?
Well, I think England, it depends how desperate they are to win the series or not lose points for the World Test Championship. Because you get more points for a draw, I'd imagine, than you would on the loss.
But it's a given that they will bat a bit longer than we up here think they should do. Here's Curran swinging in. That's a beautiful stroke. Absolutely dismissed it. The ball swung into his pads, and Chase there has just taken a bit of pressure off the West Indies. Only a little, because the follow-on is only part of the story here. But it means they need just 4 now. But that was a terrific shot. Swinging into the leg stump. It clipped that hard. Cuffing stroke, really. Pass mid on down to the boundary.
He's played a couple of... They played one of Ben Stokes earlier. The same kind of force.
Well, one more of those, and then we're into plan B as far as England are concerned.
What do you say? 85 overs?
Sounds about
280?
Right. And goes Curran. Bowls, that's tucked away out towards mid-wicket. Diving save there. Well, yes, I would say that, except you just know that the record is that when you're actually out there making the decision yourself as the captain, you do inevitably, I think, want a bit more than that. You've been there yourself so many times, the camera panning on you, standing in the...
I'll just say...
He's about to declare, he's going to declare, no he's not. And he keeps saying, declare, declare.
I didn't get many of those declarations wrong, Angus, I don't think.
No, but from here you feel that the players probably don't need as many.
Because there is a time issue on it. I didn't have many time issue.
Curran bowls, it's short, swung away into the leg side. And there you go, the follow-on is saved. Ball thunders into the edge of the boundary down there, deep backward square leg, and Chase has got a big smile on his face, because that, at least from West Indies, is an important milestone they've now reached. They've avoided the follow-on, but they're not out of the mire yet.
No, especially with that ball from a couple of balls from Stuart Broad, who kept low and gone through the top a little bit. It's going to happen. More's going to happen tomorrow, that is for certain.
So they're 199 behind. In goes Curran, bowls to Chase, swinging in and played across his pad. And as it goes to mid-wicket. Now, this is interesting. It's very, very detailed, the information that you get from the dressing room these days, is that Stokes just needed an indigestion tablet rather than him being off for any muscle injuries. That's why he was pressing...
Ate too much tea.
His chest, Nasty thing, acid reflux, which is, I suspect, is what that's all about. Then 270 for 8. Goes Curran, bowls outside the off stump, pushed away. Oh, he's playing so handsomely now. Chase is going to get a couple here. His best hurls the ball in from deep point. Fine stroke, forced off the back foot. 272 for 8. So West Indies 197 runs behind. It's still a big platform for England. But that equation now and the thoughts of batting orders and so on becomes a reality. But they still need these 2 wickets really quickly. 272 for 8. I can see Shannon Gabriel sitting. He's good to go in the dressing room. As Curran moves in, bowls it, hit in the air down to mid-on. It doesn't quite carry. And Chase there opening his shoulders as an ambitious shot. And was almost caught by Woakes at mid-on. But he's done his bit there, Chase. He's 41 not out now. So he really leant back and gave that the kitchen sink, but the ball just dropped short of Chris Woakes. Michael Vaughan's alongside me.
Good afternoon. Well, good evening, should I say. Fascinating. Been terrific cricket over the last hour and a half. Stuart Broad charging in with that second new ball. We've seen it so often over the years. Once he gets on one of those rolls and streaks, we fancied him getting a wicket every ball. I'm with you with the batting lineup. England will just have a number that they have to put in their mind, and the amount of overs that they want tomorrow. And if it is that Butler has to go in first, you have to do it.
Woakes starts a new over. And Roach turns away into the leg side. Wants a single. Roach says no. 272.
I always think, Aggers, when you have a test team like England do so, and a batting lineup like they do, it's for almost like moments like this that you can be thinking outside of the box and use Butler in a different sense. You know, why leave him down in that 6-7 role?
It's just flexibility, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got
using all your resources.
So like Adam Gilchrist would have been pushed up for Australia, wouldn't he?
Woakes bowls outside the off stump. And Roach, who hasn't scored yet, allows that to go through to the wicket-keeper.
It's funny, isn't it? If the West Indies can somehow bat another 10 overs, you would think that they'll score 30 or 40. I mean, it's a lot from here, but you just look at that as a game situation. That could be enough, really, to give themselves certainly the chance of not having to face a second new ball tomorrow.
Woakes bowls, and it's turned into the leg side by Roach. Again, picked up at mid-wicket.
Whereas if they get bowled out now, I think England will have enough chance, and they've got to go for it tonight. They can't say, oh, we'll bat the day out and then come back tomorrow. They've got to use the time tonight effectively and then come back tomorrow and do it again. But it will be a case that England should, if they get 2 quick wickets now, be able to have 85 overs and the possibility of that second new ball, even if it's just for 5 overs at the end of the day's play.
As Woakes bowls down the leg side, it goes. Butler doesn't take that cleanly again. He's dropped a few down that leg side in this innings. 272 for 8. I mean, they can score what, 5, 6 and over? Swing like that.
Yep.
I think looking at the TV pictures, our friends next door are having the same conversation because they've focused on Dom Sibley now. Looking at his T20 career, to be fair, in which he goes at strike rate of 122. Woakes bowls short of a length. It's punched away to Overton, who's fielding a substitute at mid-on. Wind's still blowing out there. Most of the players now wearing a jumper of some sort.
I mean, the other angle is you just send the batting order out as it is and you tell them to get on with it. You know, Sibley's going to have to be good enough. And as I say, those strike rates in T20 cricket, 122, clearly a candidate.
Yep.
Full of confidence on the back of 100.
Now here's the next one. Edge, and it doesn't quite carry there. A second slip, long diving attempt there from Stokes. Can't pick it up. 272 for 8. Bit different hitting T20 blast around than big Shannon Gabriel and co. But he must have the shots though.
Yeah. And you know, the West Indies won't be able to attack, so the field will be spread, so there'll be plenty of chances for 1s, 2s. At least we've got a game.
Yeah,
about an
absolutely.
hour and a half ago, we were all thinking, wait a minute, the last day could be quite a turgid one. Whatever happens from here, I think we're in for an exciting one.
Absolutely. Because again, as we've seen, 3 wickets as quickly as that for Broad. The situation changes so quickly. The pressure mounts on the batting side. 272 for 8. Curran. on his way, and he bowls to Chase, who's got 41. Again, he plays rather crookedly around that pad.
I just fancy, if that's a yard fuller, I think Roston Chase is going to try and launch Sam Curran straight back towards us. Might end up going a bit wider of us to mid-on. Just get the feeling with Roston that his eyes are in. He's 41 from 73. He's played some high-class strokes, but if this is up, I think it might be off.
Curran moves in again, bowls to a bit of width, and he drives through extra cover. That's an excellent shot. Overton can chase that all he likes. He's not going to stop that. Beautiful cover drive. 45 to Roston Chase. That nibbles away at the lead, 193.
I wonder how much of the effect second new ball taken today. That obviously usually when you go out to bat against the new ball, you've had a roller on it for 7 minutes. And the second new ball was taken today. There's no roller. It's a bit grubby. Did all sorts. Will it have the same effect tomorrow when the roller's been taken?
Or indeed, what would England do between innings? We'd probably flatten it out then, wouldn't you? It's Curran bowling. That's played one-handed. But I just want to talk. Can you see the skipper out there?
First slip.
Is it first slip?
Is that him?
Perhaps it is. I was just looking for.
It might not be.
That's Crawley at first.
Yeah, I think you're right, because Ben Stokes was giving Ollie Pope at mid-wicket some directions at the start of the over.
Yeah, I don't think Root's out there.
I think he's gone for an indigestion tablet.
He might have done, and a consultation with Chris Silverwood about what they're going to do. His Curran bowls one again that moves away, finds the edge, and then runs towards third man. Crawley's giving chase from that first slip. Shouldn't go for four. He's got there just in time. And Chase comes back for 3, so he now goes to 48. West Indies 190 behind, with 16 overs to go at the moment. You'll lose 2 of those between innings. Only Gabriel to come. So if he can get another wicket here, it's unlikely, unless Chase suddenly goes berserk at one end. Unlikely to add too many more. The light's been better than this as well during the day. We'll put the floodlights on in a minute. 279 for 8. Curran on his way, bowls to Roach, who, he's got 4 now. Sliding away off the thickish edge, down through third man. Useful runs for the West Indies, because they're all runs that England are going to have to score tonight and tomorrow. Root, I can see, has reappeared. He hasn't made it onto the field yet.
Yeah, it really is a crucial last hour of the day's play. If the West Indies bat the majority of it, it's going to make it so much more difficult for England to force the victory. If England can be batting in the next 20 minutes, well, they'll come out, I'm sure, will try and climb into a few, try and score quickly, and it sets up for a tremendous last day.
283 for 5. Curran scuttles in, bowls on the off stump. Nicely played again by Roach. Looks a very good touch out there, playing out to wide mid-off. There's no run. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra, digital radio online and via the BBC Sounds app, but our friends on Radio 4 Longwave are leaving us briefly for the shipping forecast.
I thought you were going to give it the Jim Maxwell then.
That is entirely Jim's domain. The excitable build-up. So 186 is the lead for England. Joe Root returns. I suspect there has been some tactical discussion out there, because I suspect if they are going to change the order, he'll want to tell the person if they are going to open.
Yeah, just who's he chatting to? Is he going to go? Maybe to Joss, maybe to Ben.
Yeah, he's not saying anything at the moment. He's well, they haven't got these 2 wickets yet. 283 for 8. Wokes mops his brow, grips the board. He's going to bowl to the tall figure of Roston Chase. In he comes now, running in hard and bowls. Oh, he's felt for that outside the off stump. The edge not found, though. Butler taking it low to his right. 283 for 8.
Oh, he's having a chat with Rory Burns.
Yeah.
What do you reckon that was? You're going in.
He's got the call.
I think he's got the nod.
He has having a chat with Stokes, isn't he? Definite conversation going on there. Here's Wokes, past the umpire. Bowls, that bounced, moved away. And left Chase. Wokes making the ball talk at the moment.
See, Joe Root and Ben Stokes are now having a good chat.
Yeah.
Joss Butler's not having anything to do with it as we speak. It's just the first slip and the second slip. What do you reckon they're saying, Agus? Probably just talking about tonight's food.
It could be. Yeah. That Japanese restaurant that Michael Vaughan had last night is pretty good. 283 for 8. Here's Wokes. Bowls on that cups back. This time nearly trimming the off bail. But, Chase lines it up well. Still the lead, 186. It's a long conversation, isn't it? It's being resumed now. What options they have? It could be Crawley. They could go full out. I suppose it does depend to an extent also on the number of runs they need to score in that short time. Whether they go full throttle with Butler and Stokes up there somewhere. Wokes bowls, nicely pushed away by Chase into the offside.
I mean, the batting lineup is so long. Stuart Broad at 11.
Yeah.
Sam Curran down there at 9. Bess at 10. So even in this situation, if you're 30 for 3, it's not going to have much effect, is it? You're not, or shouldn't be too concerned by that. I don't think the West Indies can win from this position, unless England set them something silly.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, Shea Hope gets going again, like at Headingley 2 years ago.
Wokes bowls, and no stroke this time. It's taken by Joss Butler. We'll go out to our long wave listeners. Some very good balls bowled in this over by Wokes, but no wickets taken. We're watching Joe Root and Ben Stokes at first and second slips. They're right next door to each other, having quite a conversation. Root left the field, presumably for a bit of a conference there in the dressing room, and has come back, and he and Ben Stokes are clearly talking things through. He's bringing up the deep square leg now to make sure that, or trying to ensure that Chase stays at this end and can't just knock the ball away for an easy single. So the last ball of the over, 283 for 8. Here's Wokes on his way, bowls to Chase. Again, that extra bit of bounce there that Wokes has found. Ball hitting the top of the bat handle, and or the shoulder of the bat anyway. Fielded in the gully. 283 for 8. So the lead 186. More conversations between Chase and Roach.
Well, Dom Sibley's just strolling off here, Agus. You can see him there, the opening batsman. It's generally what you do when you're going to go and open the batting.
All sorts of coming, because Stuart Broad's coming back on. I hadn't noticed that he was off. Sibley's going off. Goodness knows, it's all speculation, and who knows what they decided they're doing, but it's good fun joining in the speculation anyway. Trying to work out all the various possibilities. Curran's going to continue from this end, the Statham end, the wind ruffling away on these microphones in front of us. As we've got Roach on strike. Broad coming a little bit closer there at wide mid-off. They'll try and keep Roach on strike if they can. And Curran's going round the wicket. Is there any bowls? A ball that swings in, he lets it go by. Michael, some thoughts from you? And then Allison's coming in here.
Yeah, I like this angle change from Sam Curran, particularly to Roach. Saw him in the last over the wicket. The angle across, he seemed to favour that angle, so he's come around the wicket to restrict him of any width. He likes to play the drive through the offside. Put a short mid-wicket in place, a square leg and a mid-on, 3 slips. Just a subtle change of angle, Ali.
Hi there, Michael. The game is full of intrigue once again, isn't it? As Curran is in, bottom quite wide of the crease. It's gone right across the right-hander and taken by Butler, tumbling away down the leg side. And he left it alone and didn't get anything on it. 283 for 8 then, and all about how much longer these two can hang around, how many more runs they can add, and then what Joe Root starts to think about, well, time versus runs versus what they want to set the West Indies, how long they believe they will need to bowl them out. It's just a little bit longer for this little passage of play to evolve before we start to find out those answers. Swinging in again, Curran, from around the wicket, and it's a single for the West Indies. A single for Roach. 284 for 9. Wonderful spell from Stuart Broad earlier with the new ball taken after tea, and West Indies lost 3 for 10 at one point, and Broad had his familiar sight, his tail up, so to speak, roaring in, charging in. Had Ben Stokes leave the field with thought might have been a niggle turned out to be indigestion. But he's back on. They're at second slip now as Curran is in again now, swinging into the pads. It's been clipped away, whipped off the legs, down towards a deep backwards square, and they're pushing for a second. Good hard running as the throw comes into the non-striker's end. Broad is several feet behind the stumps to gather, and Chase has brought up his 50. A very important 50 to get West Indies past that follow-on target. His 8th Test 50. And West Indies are 286 for 8, and he touches gloves with batting partner, and it's a fine effort.
Well, what a game he's having when you think he got 5 wickets in the first innings. Played well in Southampton in the first game as well. He's had a really good start to the series.
High value as the all-rounder as Curran is in again, swinging again once more, and that's flown off the inside edge past the stumps away down towards fine leg. And another one is added to the West Indies score off the bat of Roach this time, 287 for 8.
But it is swinging. This second new ball's done so much more than what we saw the first new ball, a bit more shape in the air. Obviously the Stuart Broad spell had seam movement, bounce, low bounce. Looked very difficult to face.
Andy.
Roston Chase's half century from 83 balls. It's his 13th score of 50 or more in Test cricket.
As Curran is in around the wicket once more, blocked back up the pitch.
He has 500s amongst those. It's his third 50-plus score against England. He has 1 century scored in last January's series. And worth noting again how poorly he did on West Indies' last tour. We're talking about Shane Dowrich in the last Test, batted very well in Southampton after a terrible tour here. Chase only got 80 runs in 6 innings. Highest score 30, and already he surpassed that highest score of 30 from the last tour in all 3 innings in this series.
Yep, looking like a key player for them, and will be even more so in the 3rd Test match here if indeed the series is still alive at that point. And 5 wickets to go with 47 in the first innings of Southampton. 51 hit.
I did notice at lunchtime Rakeem Cornwall, the West Indian off-spinner, was having a good bowl in the middle, so...
Wokes in now, new over, full struck on the pad. That looked like a good shout, but umpire Michael Gough is unmoved. Have England just got 1 review left? Michael Vaughan's giving it out.
Close.
Yeah, Joe Root's having a look.
Close, I mean, nip back.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. The original decision is not out. If I can see the front foot first, please. Thank you. Fair delivery. Front on spin vision, please.
This is Richard Kettleborough, the 3rd umpire.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need to see ultra edge on this, please, to see if there's any bat involved.
Pitched outside off, it's come back, striking him under the knee roll.
It's close. It looks like it's hit him in line.
Yep.
And the angle may take it.
Okay, waiting for ultra edge.
Down the leg side slightly, but I don't think so. Don't think there's an inside edge. I think he's hit his pad with his bat. So maybe that's what the umpire thought as too noisy.
Okay, keep that.
Quite striding actually. It's outside his crease by about a metre.
Just take that back a bit, please. The left-hand screen's very blurred. Take it back a few frames, please. And then roll it through, please. Keep it rolling through. Keep it rolling through. Keep it rolling through. Okay, we're flat lines, it goes past the bat. No bat involved, we'll go to ball tracking when available, please.
Did it do too much?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, hitting.
It's pitching outside off, impact is in line, and it's hitting the wickets. I'm going to go back to Michael on field. Michael, get you to overturn your decision. You're on camera now.
That is a 2nd wicket for Chris Wokes then, and the West Indies 9 down. And they're a step closer to the game. Moving on. Big wonderful delivery, cutting back. And Wokes celebrating with his arms outstretched as he went. But it's been a fabulous innings.
Yeah, it kept a bit low as well. It skidded from outside off, nipped back, kind of just rushed onto him. Very difficult delivery to face when you think he's been out there for 85 balls and he gets the ball like that, and it's a difficult ball to face. It just tells you very good from Chris Wokes and Stuart Broad in these kind of conditions. When the ball's doing plenty, you can't get many better. You know, you add Jimmy Anderson into those kind of equations. Wonderful seam bowlers when they've got something in the pitch, offering them plenty with this second new ball. It's been a great turnaround. Michael Goff's had I think that's probably the only decision he's got wrong, Michael Goff. He's had a really good match as an umpire. And you can see why he gave that now, because the bat did hit the pad just at the time it was passing the inside edge, and maybe he just thought there was an inside edge on it, so understandably he gave it not out.
So West Indies are still 182 behind, 287 for 9. One more wicket. It's Shannon Gabriel who's the new batsman, so it might not last too long, or it could be a little flurry of fun. It's going to throw the bat, you'd imagine.
You queue up, don't you, as a bowler? As soon as Shannon walks out there, Chris Wokes will be fancying another one, get a 3 for.
He's well padded
Sam
up.
Curran, yeah, what's he got so far, Sam? Is he on 2 or 3?
2 for
2, so
70.
It's the chase to the 3 for, isn't it?
Yep, Broad has 3 to his name already. But look at Shannon. Shannon Gabriel's got the arm guard on. He's got a chest guard, rib guard. He's got the jumper on. It's making him look doubly bulky out there as well. It's just got a little bit overcast here at Old Trafford too. The bright sunshine we had earlier in the day, the wind just feels to have picked up a little bit. Drinks have been brought on the field, by the way. That's why there's a delay. Waiting for play to restart with the West Indies 9 down. But you can watch all of the clips of the action today on the BBC Sport website and app. If you've heard the wickets fall and you listened to that fantastic spell by Stuart Broad when 3 wickets fell in double quick time, then you can go onto the website and app and watch those. And if you click on the text commentary as well on the BBC Sport website, you can see all the clips there. And of course, we'll have all the highlights on today at the Test from 7 p.m. on BBC Two. And that, of course, is then on the iPlayer, and you can watch it at your leisure anytime you like. But that was a wonderful spell from Broad. And Shamar Brooks, that was the first wicket he took. That was the key, because Shamar Brooks had batted really well for his 68. That's off the back of Craig Brathwaite's 74, top scorer in the West Indies innings. And they were able to pin together a series of 50-run partnerships. They arguably needed one of those partnerships to develop into an 80 and 100-run stand. But there was some consistency through that order until that spell after tea. And then Broad, bang, bang, bang to dismiss. Brooks, Blackwood as well for a duck. Of course, after his standout performance in Southampton to help West Indies to the win. And Dowrich was LBW. So, Chris Wokes, ball in hand. He's had a false start, because in fact the ground staff aren't quite off the field with the pot of paint in one hand and the marker in the other. But Gabriel facing up to Wokes, 287 for 9. Wokes in now bowling full. Gabriel's laid bat on it, but the ball rolls out towards Crawley at point, and there's no run.
And it was Shannon Gabriel's top score.
Not much.
Says it in a nutshell.
I'll be more precise in a second. Those test batting averages under 5.
West Indies will take 5.
There's floodlights starting to come on here, Michael. Wokes, the pavilion behind him, in again to Gabriel, beaten. Just came forward, but with no real certainty or conviction. And the ball's gone through to Butler.
He has a highest of 20 not out against England in St George's back in April 2015.
20 would be pretty handy for the West Indies here.
20 from Shannon will be
Gold
go a
dust.
long way to getting something out of the game.
Wokes running in again. Gabriel waits, struck on the pad. He's come for no. In fact, not the pad. He's doubled up. He's doubled up and he's staggering away from the crease. Might take a little while for him to regain his composure.
Oh, Kemar Roach is laughing.
He is, isn't he? I managed not to laugh then. I hope you noticed that.
Oh,
He was in pain.
Okay, so
He was
it's
in
gone
pain.
into that zone, is it? Let's have a look. Front on. Let's just. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he had his back to us. I thought initially it was the pad and he was a little squared up, but then when I saw the way he doubled over, I thought no, that was a little higher, a little more central.
To be fair to the West Indies, it's an opportunity for them to take a few minutes out of the game.
Well, it's all time, isn't it? It's all time. We're now 6:10. Official close of play 6:30 and 7 to get the overs in. So how many overs do we have remaining at the moment, Andy?
Ooh,
13.
I've seen it square on.
Okay.
13.2 overs remaining. Shannon Gabriel's form with the batters somewhat deserted her after a brilliant innings of 12 against Bangladesh in July 2018. Since then, 26 runs from 17 innings, average 2.6.
Well, the little spell he's had now getting some attention from the physio might last longer than his actual innings with the bat. Look, he's got his helmet sort of held together with band-aids, sticky tape.
Yeah, it's just
Jesse's worn a few.
Yeah, there's kind of a foam section in your helmet that just kind of comes just below the ear, just inside of the grill. It kind of sometimes flops about, so some players do exactly that, just get a bit of tape.
He's regained his composure and he's facing up again to Wokes. Floodlights on, the light fading, bouncer, and he's ducking underneath it into the gloves of Butler. That might not be the last of the bouncers that he sees. He's doing a little bit of shadow batting. How long are England going to want? I mean, it's difficult to know, isn't it? Until we've got the real numbers and you know what stage they're going to start to bat. But Wokes is in for. That's bowled him. That's bowled him. He might have come off a little bit of bat, but the bails are off. And England can celebrate. They've bowled out the West Indies for 287. 182 behind. And Chris Wokes does have 3, along with Stuart Broad. Oh, he's just missed everything. I thought it might have perhaps come off the edge of the bat or pad, but no, he's got the off stump. So 3 wickets for Wokes, and Gabriel didn't last very long. He's gone without scoring. And so now we do know that England have an opportunity to come out to bat or lose a couple of overs for the change of innings. Will that leave 11 overs in the evening?
Yeah, they won't get that, will they? They'll play till 7.
Right.
What will England have, about 30?
About 40 minutes to bat.
Yeah, maybe not even that, about 37 minutes of batting. I can't imagine the over 8's going to be so quick. So what we're thinking about, 8 to 9 overs of batting tonight, maybe 8 by the time the West Indies have just slowed play somewhat, which you would in their position. So England have got 8 overs to try and score some runs, try and get I guess that lead back to over 200 today, and then tomorrow morning come out and probably be sending for the fireworks, the firecrackers, to get it moving quickly. And I would think they'll want 80-85 overs. If they could get to 85 overs, which gives them that chance of getting a second new ball later on in the day, I think that's what they'll try and do.
Who do you open the batting with, Michael?
Well, I think
Sibley
they'll go with the same pair. I mean, in Test cricket, you very rarely change. You know, you're just saying to the opening pair of Burns and Sid, you're going to have to be busy. You're going to have to be active. You're going to have to run between the wickets hard. I can't think that the West Indies will go too much on the attack in terms of field settings. So just be busy for the 37 minutes of play remaining. Be active. Look to score. Don't just think that you're batting till close. You're not. You're batting for a number that we need to get to by whatever time is tomorrow. I'm sure that'll be the message for Joe Root in the dressing room to the team. That is the number that I want. You probably want 300 in front. So England, what are they 100 and how many? Andy, can you work that out for me?
182.
So they need another 120. If they can do it in 20-25 overs, that should give them enough time to have that short burst if required of the second new ball later tomorrow night.
So it hasn't gone exactly to their A1 plan, where they could have forced the follow on and really gone hard at the West Indies with the lights on at the start of their second innings tonight, but there's still an opportunity, and it means though we're set up for a tantalising final day.
Yeah, they've done well today, England, because I thought they changed the tactics nicely mid-afternoon when it was becoming very comfortable between that partnership of Brathwaite, Hope to start with, then Brooks. It just looked so easy for them. Then all of a sudden they went short. I thought it just disrupted the kind of momentum towards them, because they weren't scoring as quickly, the West Indies, and you could see it was a little bit awkward. And that key wicket of Brathwaite, he'd played so well, and it was Ben Stokes who got the wicket, no surprise with that. And then it was just a second new ball, Stuart Broad just charging in from Jimmy Anderson's end, and he bowled with it actually felt Broad and Wokes bowled probably the quickest I've seen him in Test match cricket for a long while. You know, they really charged in and bowled at around 86, 87 miles an hour every time they had the ball in hand. And that's what you require at this level. If you can get it to that kind of pace with the skill levels that they have, you know, that's what you require them as a captain. You know, you don't want them bowling 82, 83 miles an hour when you can get them to that 86, 87 miles an hour. So they're really, when you think they haven't played, you know, for such a long period of time, that they look to me like they found rhythm pretty much straight away in this game.
Well, I make that post-tea spell 6 wickets for 60 runs, 227 for 4 at tea to 287 all out. So I'll take you through the West Indies batting scorecard. They, of course, resumed this morning on 32 for 1 after a complete washout yesterday on day 3. So the first wicket, well, I'll take you through the scorecard then, because John Campbell was the wicket that fell last night, LBW to Curran for 12. Alzari Joseph was the night watchman, caught by Pope at short leg off Bess for 32 or 52. He batted in a sprightly fashion and added some important runs quite quickly at that stage. Then the first of the half-century partnerships before Shea Hope was caught by Butler. A lovely cutter from Sam Curran. He made 25. Craig Brathwaite, the top scorer for the West Indies, with 74. He got leading edge, caught and bowled Stokes, 199 for 4 at that stage. Shamar Brooks batting nicely till he was the first of Stuart Broad's victims after tea. LBW for 68. Then Jermaine Blackwood was out for a duck, bowled by Broad, really an unplayable delivery. It kept low and the ball started to do all sorts. And Broad was just magnificent, racing in, galloping in. Dowrich was his third victim, LBW. Dowrich making naught, he'd faced 5 balls. Wokes then got in on the action with Jason Holder's wicket, having him caught by Root for 2. And Roston Chase, LBW, for 51, before Wokes removing Gabriel without scoring, as he was bowled. And Kemar Roach finishing unbeaten on 5. For the bowling figures then, Broad, 23 overs, 7 maidens, 3 for 66. Wokes, 21 overs, 10 maidens, 3 for 42. Curran, 20 overs, 4 maidens, 2 for 70. Best, 21 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 67. Might have thought he might have had more of an impact, perhaps bowling a little too quickly at times, but Root bowled just 1 solitary over, which was a maiden. And Ben Stokes, 13 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 29. Left the field at one point, worried that he might have got an injury. Turned out to be a spot of indigestion. So he came back on. But, yep, Stuart Broad, he set about after tea with the fall of those wickets, precipitated that West Indies collapse. So 6 for 60 to be all out for 287, 182 behind. England then coming out to build a second innings lead and then decide at what point they set about bowling again at the West Indies to try and win the match and level the series up, Phil Tufnell. Set up. It's getting set up.
Isn't it just sparked into life there after tea, doesn't it, with that new ball? It just goes to show that sometimes you've got to do the hard yards in Test match cricket. You know, there was that spell of Ben Stokes and Stuart Broad just bowling short and sort of softening up the West Indies side, and then they just got a little, you know, the door just opened with that loss of a wicket and they roared through it. So yeah, you've got to do the hard yards sometimes to get the rewards, and this is set up beautifully now, absolutely beautifully. England going to be looked to be positive, of course, until the end of play, and then I don't know, what, 300 lead or something like that. With about
the point of it, they feel that they've made the game safe, or and then still wanting to give themselves enough time to you'd want to have a little bit with a second new ball if need be at the back end of tomorrow.
Because just look what happened with that new ball. Then you want to have that second new ball just up your sleeve. And even if you sort of need 4 or 5 wickets, that new ball, the odd one keeps low. I just keep remembering of times here at Old Trafford in that last day, on the evening of the last day, or sort of like after tea, things going, oh, hello, what's happening?
Change in the batting order. I did ask Michael Vaughan, he said, well, it doesn't happen much in Test cricket, but here we go. This is like a World Cup super over.
Hold on a minute.
We've got Stokes and Butler coming out. Buckle up.
Yes. Simon Mann, you owe me a favour.
Well, I wish I could stay in to commentate on the start of this innings, but Simon Mann's making a timely arrival. But yeah, this is potentially going to be an exciting passage of play. Stokes and Butler coming out to open for England in Test cricket. Tuffers, Your thoughts,
Yeah.
and then Simon Mann.
Yeah, the only drawback against this, of course, the West Indies bowlers are going to be fresh. The West Indies is going to have a new ball, and you don't want to lose the power of Buttler and Stokes to just an unplayable ball or something like that. So I might have still gone with Burns and one of the big hitters, but they've decided to go full bore and get the two big guns out there. So this will be an interesting last 10 or 11 overs.
I didn't think they'd do it, Tuffers. I
No,
really
you-
didn't. No,
well,
I
you didn't think they'd do
But
it.
we didn't shake on it, did we? We didn't shake
No,
on
we
the...
didn't. Don't worry. Buy me a beer in the bar. Yeah. Well, we were just thinking that they might just look to sort of like Burns and Sibley look to go out there and be a bit positive, and then keep these guys in the hutch for tomorrow. But good positive vibes from England there. Let's get on with it.
So Stokes and Buttler are out there. It won't be that easy for them.
No.
Against a new ball, and they've been in the field all day.
Sorry, there's a child at the back of the classroom with his hand up.
These are very exciting stats. The first time England have had 4 different openers in a Test match since 1954.
Go on, that is going back.
So who opened in the Abu Dhabi match then, the second innings? Because Alistair Cook opened in the first innings. Who opened with him?
It was Buttler and Moeen Ali. So Moeen had also opened in the first innings.
Right, of course, that was when he was that. Yeah, that was when he was been up and down.
Strange times.
He's batted at 3. He's opened. He's batted at 8, and he's had all over the place, isn't he, Moeen? Middle order as well, 5.
Yeah, he's probably done a lot.
The last time England had 4 different openers in a home Test match, 1921.
Wow.
Here at Old Trafford against Australia.
That must be a record for you, Andy, isn't it? 1921.
I could go way further back than
can
that.
you?
Tuffers.
Oh, okay. It's a goodie, though. Like that.
It's going to be Kemar Roach with 37 minutes cricket left. England with a lead of 182. I like Michael's idea of
2 new balls.
Yeah. If
Definitely.
you possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
It makes such a difference, isn't it? If you've got a new ball to polish off the tail.
Yeah.
Here is Roach bowling to Stokes, and Stokes is squared up by that one, but he's away straight away, out to deep cover.
Yeah.
Gets a single.
Well, I hope the indigestion's calmed down, because now he's opening the batting. All that tempura rambling around in there.
There were lots of questions about Stokes' fitness today. The first one was answered by the fact he bowled 11 overs in a row in the afternoon session after not bowling in the morning. The second one answered by the fact he'd taken an indigestion tablet.
Yeah. I was thinking of intercostal, solar plexus, core, diaphragm, dodgy
Out
tempura.
for the rest of the season. Well, that bowling, he's probably still bat, but
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, what England don't want here is just a couple of quick wickets. Because that will just set them back a bit.
Well, these are the 2 powerhouses they've got.
Yeah,
Buttler and-
absolutely. But I mean, Curran could go roots, very good strikers and, busy cricketers.
Right, here is Roach moving into bowl to Buttler, and Buttler plays into the onside there, just falling over the tad. Plays it up towards mid-on, and there's no run there. 6.4 overs left.
What do you fancy in those? 5 and over? 4 and over?
Yeah,
Gets you
I mean, you
20.
need to be positive, and then what you hope is you're there tomorrow, so
Yeah.
you can really... Exactly.
Which means the charge.
Yeah. But you want to be positive tonight as well. Here's Roach wide of the crease, bowls to Buttler, who tries to smack him down the ground, hits the stumps of the non-striker's end, and goes up towards mid-on. Stokes was back in his crease, that one on the strikers. I'm not sure if Roach got anything on that. I don't think he did. Stuck out of hand. Buttler not quite timing it, but real intent there from Joss Buttler.
Yeah. Well, one thing we do know is if he does manage to locate the ball and give it a hit, it's going to ping off. New ball, Joss Buttler. It's going to go hard.
And West Indies already making a field change. They've taken one of the slips out mid-wicket, and also backward point is going towards the boundary as well. So they're giving up a bit of ground here in a way. There's some gaps to exploit. Roach bowls to Buttler. Oh, he's bowled him. He's dragged it on. It was a wide one. Looked to force it through the offside, and Buttler is out for naught.
There you go.
And England are 1 for 1.
And that was what we said we didn't want. Well, England didn't want to happen. You've kind of now lost one of your main guns that could have been coming in tomorrow. But, I mean, it just shows positivity. So wide. I mean, so wide. Perhaps that bottom hand coming through a little bit too quick and just dragged it on. Oh dear, that's a shame for England, but West Indies will like that, that's for sure. One of the real danger men goes.
So Butler out from naught from 3 balls. Who comes in now then?
Oh, I don't know.
Crawley?
Yes,
England's
probably.
regular 3.
Yeah.
He can play shots, can't
Yeah,
he?
that's right, yeah, and just to sort of like, you know, knock it around.
And it is Crawley by the looks of it, is it? Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, knock it around a bit. 1s and 2s, run hard. You don't have to be hitting every ball for 6, you know. But that was a shame for Joss Butler. He's having one of those. Is he having a bit of a funny old summer, Joss Butler, isn't he? With the gloves and with the bat.
Well, he's flickered in the first inning at Southampton.
Yeah.
He made 35.
Yeah.
First innings here, he made 40.
Yeah. We're just used to seeing these wonderful one-day innings, aren't we? Yeah, England just need now just to, you know, drop and go, look busy, turns 1s into 2s if the bad ball comes along, but just don't go too mad here. If you're getting, what you don't want is to be 3 or 4 down, do you? You don't want to be 3 or 4 down for tomorrow, and what all you could get is perhaps 30 or 40 runs. You know, in the balance of where England want to be, you know, you don't want to lose too many wickets.
I think the intent is good, though. It's
Yes,
a real
love
signal to the opposition, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We're coming after you.
Absolutely, love
You
it.
can't rest on your laurels just because you say the follow-on. Roach bowls, Crawley plays nicely into the offside. He's on a pair, of course. He's no longer on a pair.
Oh, I forgot that.
He played that forcefully to mid-off. It's picked up by Gabriel. And Crawley is off the mark, first ball.
Oh, look, I mean, Joss will be so wide.
He did well to actually play that onto his stumps,
He
didn't he?
did, I know. It's so, how wide is that? Like 4 foot, 5 foot wide of the off stump and inside edge, is it? Oh dear, shake of the head.
And Jason Holt is pushing his mid-on back to long on. Stokes comes down the pitch and then leaves it.
And that's the other good thing, you see, that England can now do is they don't have to play the big shots because the field's back. So it's almost just tap and go, rotate, strike, turns 1s into 2s. You know, Butler was going for that big shot, wasn't he? Which then was his downfall.
So 2 for 1 after the first over. England's lead is 184 after West Indies collapsed to the new ball with Broad taking 3 and Wokes taking 3. That's such a different game at 199 for 3 or 242 for 4. Suddenly the wickets began to fall, and England have made, certainly, everyone watching in, listening in, made the last day interesting. They're clearly going to go for it, and they're going to try to put some pressure on West Indies.
So what would you like, Simon? What would you like in the bag?
Well, I think ideally you'd want about 320, something like that.
It's a bit greedy. 320. What? And how many overs to bowl them out?
Well, I like Michael's idea of 85 overs, so you've got 2 new balls, possibly 5 overs with a second new ball. But to get that, they're really going to have to go some, aren't they? There are 98 overs left tomorrow, and it's gone off the board at the moment, but how many overs left tonight? 6, I think 6, isn't it? Yeah. So to do that, 2 between innings, 87, 11, they really would have to go some to get that sort of lead. Gabriel goes in, bowls, and Crawley tries to pull it away, struck on the body, they run through for a leg bye. Gabriel walks forward to pick up the ball. So that you're talking about 130 runs in about 17 overs.
Good going there.
Yeah. So what are you looking at? What do you think?
Well, I was just thinking, 20 or 30 short of that. 290 for me. 290 on the last day, even though we've missed
290 and 85 overs?
Yeah. Oh no, but then could they get that?
Well, they did it Headingley, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know.
That's why
Yeah, it's going to be another tester for Joe Root and the Brains Trust in the dressing room.
Or is it too greedy to have 2 new balls?
Well, no, because as we saw in that innings there, when that new ball came in, it just happened, didn't it?
Yeah. So 5 overs with a second new ball. If the team was 7 down, say.
Yeah, could just be the thing. Oh, I don't know.
Stokes on 1. Gabriel ran the wicket to bowl to him. Stokes plays firmly into the onside, long on his back, so it's 1 for Stokes. They're looking for 2. It's not there. Roach is onto it.
Well, how about this then? If it was 290 and 85, would West Indies, what would their mindset be?
Well, that's the other thing, is it frees them up a bit, doesn't it? So you'd hope they might think about it, and therefore you're more likely to take wickets. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But it is nice going into the last day, putting pressure on I mean, yes, obviously there would be that ticklish period that if, they get away to a good start, and they might think, oh, we can go for it and everything, but it only usually takes 2 or 3 wickets just for it just to go woo and all slow down, and then you've got them, sort of like defending and worrying about the score.
Gabriel bowls to Crawley. It's short, it's down the leg side. Rather dies on Dowrich, the wicketkeeper. Ballooning bouncer that dipped on the wicketkeeper, took it low down.
Also, of course, all the West Indies need is a draw to retain. So you may as well have a punt and go for the win. Give yourself the best chance.
Well, and if you win the game, and that's
corker
glory, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. For the sake of 20 minutes or 20 runs.
There was that remarkable test match at the Wanderers where India played South Africa, and remember South Africa nearly broke the world record and they pulled out inexplicably, it seemed to me. Here is Gabriel bowling and that nips back and goes over the top of leg stump. Crawley looked to force through the offside and through to Dowrich. I mean, very different circumstances, but teams get cautious and when the prospect of defeat looms. But I mean, they had a chance of absolute glory there, South Africa, chasing the world record. I think they were only about 10 short, something like that. Andy can look it up. Incredible game of cricket, not so long ago. 4 for 1 England. Their lead is 186. And this is Gabriel going into bowl to Zach Crawley. That's a good delivery. It goes past the outside edge. The new ball is definitely having an effect on this pitch.
It is.
There's bounce and there's low bounce as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is, if the players are out there, they assess this pitch. You just cannot. You couldn't possibly chase 290 anyway in any circumstance. They say, well, that's fair enough. Have a go at that.
Yeah,
and we think we'll back ourselves to bowl you out.
Yeah. I'm going to go with from sitting up here, I'm going to go with be positive and perhaps a 290, 300. 300 on the 4th day at Trembridge. I mean, it's going to be good going for the West Indies to get there.
Gabriel bowls the last ball. The over, it's short, it's pulled away out to deep square leg. They've gone through for 1, and they have to settle for 1 as well. As the throw comes in, there are a few scouts out. It's a defensive field from West Indies. They know what England are looking to do. What they can do is delay them by taking wickets. 5 for 1. Stokes has 2. Crawley has 3. The lights are on. The last thing England want to do would be to come off a bad light, but light's okay at the moment. Of course, light might be an issue tomorrow as well, Tubbers. We can play 98 overs and we play right through. But, if you're playing the 98th over at 25 past 7 on a slightly overcast evening, then
it'll be off.
It might well be off,
Yeah, so that's also just something in the...
So England want a sunny day tomorrow.
And what is it going to be?
Grey. A dry day. And I think there's going to be some sunshine around. That was the last forecast I saw. Let's have a quick look. Suggestion of some clouds, some sunshine tomorrow. So 5 for 1. Here's Roach bowling to Crawley. Crawley clips that nicely through mid-wicket, probably for 2. They'll come back for the second. They'll look at 3 there. Crawley would be running to the danger end. The throw's on its way to Roach. He would have been run out if he'd come back for the second. Roston Chase was after it.
And I know it's easy to have hindsight, and we have mentioned this before earlier on, but then just perhaps, England batting on for those extra 20 or 30 gimme runs.
They could have been forced to follow on. Well, we did say at the time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Oh, well.
Crawley 5. 7 for 1. Roach bowl to Crawley. Crawley forces, but straight to extra cover.
Easy in hindsight, isn't it?
That's what makes it a good game, because there's lots of opinions and lots of scenarios that are open to a captain, and you have to back your hunch, really, back what you think is the right way to go, and you can win despite taking a completely different opinion from someone else in the dressing room. In the same way that England can win without enforcing the follow-on. Roach to Crawley. Crawley drives into his boot, runs away down towards the slip cordon. They thought it was pinching a single. It definitely wasn't there.
That game between South Africa and India at the Wanderers, new Wanderers Stadium in Johannesburg, December 2013. South Africa were chasing 458 to win, ended 450 for 7. Faf du Plessis was run out for 134 with about 4 overs to go, and then South Africa basically shut up shop.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Roach bowls, Crawley plays it into the offside, drops it short of the field, and they go through for a single, 8 for 1.
Yeah.
I think Dale Steyn hit the last ball of the match for 6, though, didn't he?
He did, but in fact, du Plessis was run out with 19 balls remaining, at which point South Africa needed 16 to win, 3 wickets left.
And who was in the tail there? Who
Well,
did
they
have
had
to come?
Steyn came in, Philander was already at the crease, and
Yeah.
they had
Rabada.
Morkel and Imran Tahir still to come. And Morkel's a pretty
Morkel.
decent defender.
Yeah.
Well, but
So here's a bit of a rabbit, isn't
Who does he play for?
Roach around the wicket. Stokes comes down the pitch and smashes him up to long on. Gabriel misfields. Stokes thinks about a second and then decides against it as the throw comes in.
I think you're right, though. You know, if you're on the edge of,
Glory.
exactly. Why not
Immortality.
instead of just going, let's just have the draw, which everyone will forget, and nobody will really worry about. You know what I mean?
But they'll be talking about it forever and ever if you get 460 in the
They'll
last
be
innings.
dancing in the streets of Joburg.
Yeah, I remember watching it. Just seemed, come on, go on, have a go.
Yeah.
Roach bowls to Crawley. Crawley tries to force into the offside ball, just angling back a bit from Roach. It's the end of the over. 9 for 1 England, so the lead is 191 with how many overs left in the day's play?
it's 8 overs remaining, so it'll be time rather than
Right, it will be, yeah. Earlier it said 6 were left, but it seems to have gone up. But perhaps I was looking at the wrong part of the scoreboard. Yeah, so we are going to lose a few today. So yeah, how many more overs? We get probably 5 or 6 more overs today.
Oh, we lost a whole day yesterday. I mean, I reckon this might have been done today if we'd have had that whole day. England will be.
Yeah, West Indies has something to aim at, didn't they?
Yeah.
With the day off.
Yeah, that's right.
And a goal, and they've still got that goal tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they know that sometime tomorrow, as long as the weather plays ball, and we think it will do, they know tomorrow they will be in a battle to save this test match. So 9 for 1 with 22 minutes left. Stokes on 3, Crawley on 6, Stokes on strike. Slip at a gully and a far-flung field. Gabriel goes in, bowls to Stokes, who launches it into the leg side.
Ow. Oh.
Just short of deep square leg. Do you know, I'd lost the fly to the ball as well. It did look like a catch out to deep backward square, but it must have landed in front of the fielder. 10 for 1. Let's have a look at this replay to see how high it was. No, it was a flat one in there. It was helped on its way by Stokes.
Top spin cross court.
Yeah. England looking for the boundaries, but not easy with the field back. But I mean, it does mean you can score it.
1 or 2 a ball. Yeah,
5, 6 and over. But that,
I prefer that than the big shot, which is difficult with a new ball.
10 for 1. Crawley on 6. Gabriel goes into bowl to him. Right arm over the wicket, bowls to Crawley. And Crawley is edging for 4. Along the ground, down to the third man boundary. Well, that's a little bonus. Raced away down towards the point, to the left of the old pavilion as we look at it. 14 for 1. You can just imagine, actually, if there were a crowd in today, I thought a couple of times they'd be cheering every run, and they sort of egging England on here to.
Can you imagine seeing Stokes and Butler walk down the way? The place would have gone.
Yeah,
would have been a riot.
Instead of that, for that edge for 4, I can just imagine a huge roar going out there, total silence.
Yeah. And the same when Stuart Broad was in that spell as well.
Definitely, they'd be right behind him.
Oh.
Right, the third man is in now. There's a slip and a mid-wicket and an extra cover. That's about it up inside the notional circle. That's short, swung away by Crawley towards deep square leg. Through for 1.
Yeah, gaps are starting to appear in the field now. And this is what England want. As you say, you don't have to play the big shot now. Just pick up 1s and 2s and save your wicket for tomorrow.
Yeah, you sort of feel you can score without too much problem. It's 6, 8 and over, really. Something like that.
Yeah.
15 for 1 is the score. We've had 3.3 overs. So Crawley's moved nicely onto 11. Nice for him to play a few shots actually and free up.
Yeah, he can
that first ball duck in the first innings.
He could obviously play the pull shot. He's played a couple of great pull shots there. Or hook shots.
There's Stokes on strike. Sends Stokes looking for the boundaries. Where are they on offer? Cow corner, I suppose. Gabriel bowls, and Stokes hits this high in the air out towards long off, and it bounces. 2 bounces towards the fielder.
Yeah, I don't like this from Stokes. Just I want to see him there tomorrow. You know, just keep knocking it around tonight. As you say, pick up 6, 7, 8 runs and over, and then do this tomorrow. Very difficult with a brand new ball on a pitch that is playing a few tricks. Gets the bounce, gets it high on the bat.
There's a miscued, lofted drive. 16 for 1. Crawley back on strike. England's lead is approaching 200 now. 198. Gabriel moves in. Bowls to Crawley. Crawley gets one on the pads there. It goes off the pad, the thigh pad, into the onside. Darrich from behind the stumps picks up, and a leg bye is signalled by umpire Goff. He's now changed ends after 2 innings of the match. And England's lead is 199. West Indies all out today for 287. They were 242 for 4. Stuart Broad with 3 for 66. Chris Wakes with 3 for 42. Sam Cohen 2 for 70.
Deep square legs gone back, Simon. Acres of space. You say just nick the 2 now. Don't just slog it straight down his throat.
Yeah, you can drop it for 2 in one-day fashion. Just nudge it to the edge of the circle.
Yeah.
And the man at Cow Corner's gone back. Gabriel bowls. Stokes gives himself some room and ends up chasing a very wide delivery, looking to slap it through the offside. Well, it's entertaining stuff. The game has really come to life in the last 2 or 3 hours. West Indies going well in the first half of the day, England in the second half. And still 17, 18 minutes to go to take to the close. Jonathan Agnew.
Yeah, I'd still like to see Ben Stokes there tomorrow. I don't see the point of just, when all the men are on the boundary, just slogging one up in the air. You can do that tomorrow when the charge is really on. John, evening.
Well, I'm enjoying this. I mean, you got to say, for at least they're going for it. I'm not sure if I sent both Stokes and Butler out, if I'm honest, but I mean, I might have opened with these 2 actually, Crawley and Stokes. But anyhow, I mean, they
showed good intent,
giving it a go. Yeah. But there is more to it than simply swiping. They could just push and run and get that scoreboard going over. 17 for 1 at the moment. In comes Roach and bowls. He's bowled him. And Crawley's gone there having a big hoik.
Right.
And his middle stump's been knocked out.
Yeah, I don't like this now. I don't like this now. Let's just knock it around. Play sensibly. Let's call for Dom Sibley. Where's Dom? Let's get Dom in now.
He could be coming in next, but I suspect. I don't know, there's 15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Not going to send a night watchman in, are they? Well, you could have an attacking night watchman.
Yeah.
You could have Sibley as night watchman.
You could have Sibley as night
ever
watchman.
opened and been night watchman in separate innings in one test.
You'd love that. I heard you with your stats earlier on about 4 different openers. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Just on another angle, I mean, England don't want to lose perhaps another couple of wickets tonight, otherwise they're going to be under a bit of pressure, and you won't be able to then put your toe down in the morning. So I think perhaps shut up shop here now.
Who's coming out? I can't see. You can't see.
I'd say Joe Root.
Let's see. There you go, Joe Root.
I saw it on the screen just behind your show.
And we've got someone. Oh, I think that's broken the stump as well, because of a replacement being brought out by a fellow coming up from deep backward square legs, sort of a groundsman or something. So we have a broken stump. That could be quite tricky because there's probably a camera in there as well.
Oh, that might be expensive.
It might be expensive. So that's been handed to the umpire. The stumps have been sanitised or not. There's all sorts of talk about that. But anyway, for now, England are 17 for 2. So they lead by 199. They've got what remains of today, which is 15 minutes. And then 98 overs tomorrow.
Yeah, there's nothing to gain in this 15
You'll lose
overs.
2 for the takeover, for the changeover. So
there's nothing to gain by what you're going to get another quick 20 here or 10, you know what I mean? But you could then stuff yourself up a bit for tomorrow.
Yeah, you could pick up another 10 just by
but don't lose any more wickets. Yeah.
And then resume with these 2.
Look at that.
These 2 tomorrow.
It's jagged back, John. I mean,
it has.
Yeah, that new ball. It would be so handy if you could get 2 new balls tomorrow.
Kemar Roach now has 4 wickets in his last 7 overs, having gone over 70 overs before his first wicket of the series.
It's a funny old
Crickviz have an expected wickets metric.
Crikey, what on earth that means. In comes Roach and over the wicket and bowls and roots away straight away, just pushing it away off his pads out to deep square leg. And then going to move to 18 for 2. You better explain what that is.
You might see an expected goals on Match of the Day, where they work out, based on the chances created, how many goals you would expect a team to score. Well, Crickviz do the same with their ball tracking data, so based on how every ball behaves, they work out what percentage chance of a wicket each ball had. And Kemar Roach, before he took his first wicket, his expected wickets were, I think, 6.7 for the series, which suggests he'd been very unlucky based on how well he bowled. And so he's catching up.
Roach round the wicket, bowls, Stokes down the pitch, just a short one. He fends it off his armpit and runs away into a big gap in the leg side. That was a nasty one. Why these batsmen take on these fast bowlers, I just don't know. But the lead goes to 201 and Stokes goes to 6. Is it telling us what time and how many runs England are going to win by tomorrow, by any chance?
Not specifically.
Not specifically.
They will have their WinViz predictor.
Right.
I'll just get up for it.
Yeah. And England do still have a very good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, especially if they can just squeak a few out early. You know, if they West Indies lose 2 or 3 quickly.
Here's Roach. Waits, waving his bat around, but a lovely off drive. Straight to mid-off it goes. No run. 19 for 2. If they get another 10, that's 20 for 2. So they lead by 210.
Yeah.
And they want to declare
85.
With 11 overs, that means there's... Oh no, because...
that's too much.
Hang on, new ball at 80. How many overs do you want with that second new ball?
5.
5, so that's... You'll declare that's 87 overs. That's 11 overs tomorrow to bat.
No.
Here's Roach, bowling, cutting back and hitting Root up on the pad and give a not out.
11 overs.
Isn't that right?
Yeah,
that's about right.
Yeah.
The win predictor currently has England at 33% probability of winning, West Indies 1%, and the draw at 66%. But I guess what that doesn't factor in is declaration and how that might change those probabilities.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably about right, though, isn't it?
But if England declared it 260,
yeah, that's right,
then the West Indies rate would
well, both sides shoot up. Chances would go up.
Yeah. Roach bowls and steered away off the back foot by Root out to deep point. So England go to 20 for 2. They lead by 202. And if you are just tuning our way, it's been a terrific. Well, second up, the first half of the day belonged to West Indies. They looked like shored things up. But then they lost 6 for 45. Yeah. Stuart Broad taking 3 for 1 in 14 balls with the second new ball. Wokes finished with 3 for 42. Skittled them out. Roston chases 51. Saw West Indies just beyond the follow-on, but not too far beyond. So they're 287 all out, a lead of 182 for England, who then sent out Ben Stokes and Joss Buttler to open. And Buttler played on, dragged on a very wide ball for naught. Crawley, you'd have seen bowled for 11. So it's all setting up for, well, I must say a final day that we certainly didn't predict at about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
There could be a fantastic stat coming, which will be...
Which one?
Dom Sibley opens up the batting and scores 100 in the first innings and then actually goes in 11 in the second innings.
There'd be a clatter of wickets in our 11 overs if that's the case, wouldn't there?
Well, you never know. You'd probably send in Stuart in front of Dom, wouldn't you?
That's what he might do now. Gabriel's on his way, bowls to Root down the leg side. He tries to pull it. It's a no ball. That'll have to be bowled again, and one more goes to England's score. So
I won't ask you, but when was the last time an opening batsman and ended up batting 11? It's too late. It's Sunday. Don't worry, Andy. Don't worry. No, go on. Stand down.
Must have happened.
Stand down.
Big no ball there from Gabriel, looking at the replay. Who do you send in next? Now, if it falls tonight.
Tonight, I would send in Burns.
Right.
Yeah, just say, right, no more wickets, because this is now getting a bit silly. We're stuffing up our chances for tomorrow.
21 for 2. England lead by 203. Gabriel's charging in bowls, and Root does get this pull away this time. Down to deep backward square leg. They run the first one quickly, so his eye on the second. The throw's on the way. They don't take the second run. And the lead goes to 204. And the reason, of course, this is also intense is that only a draw will be enough for West Indies to retain the Wisden Trophy, which is, of course, the trophy that these two countries play for every time they meet. But an England victory will take us through to the deciding test match, 1-1 with 1 to play. That starts here on Friday on that green looking pitch at the moment, just to the left of this straw coloured one. Stokes on 6. We've got 9 minutes to go until the close of play on the 4th day. Holders at slip. Otherwise everyone else really is out in the long grass. There's a man fairly deep at short cover. He's knock it and run, don't you? In goes Gabriel, runs in, bowls to Stokes, who knocks it and runs. And he's trying to steer it so they might get 2 out of this. And the field is converging. It's perfectly placed.
Beautiful.
Perfectly placed. There were 3 fielders chasing for that. And they managed to get 2 out of it. 24 for 2. A rather disconsolate looking Butler, I can see, outside the England dressing room, who, well, he fell on his sword there.
For the cause.
He did. Not very satisfying as it doesn't come off, but it's one of those who shrug his shoulders, and he went up there and tried his best. But
Jack Leach batted 11 and opened in the second innings against Ireland at Lord's last year.
He did. 24 for 2. Gabriel from round the wicket now bowls to Stokes, drives outside the off stump, a wafty sort of a drive, and makes no contact with that. 24 for 2. The lead 206. Heading towards the close of the 4th day. And a full day tomorrow. The forecast is good. You're looking forward to it. So.
Yeah.
Gabriel walks very slowly back to his mark, applying sweat from his brow to one side of the ball, then a polish on the left-hand side of his trousers.
England would be cursing that rain day, wouldn't they? Because they would have been right in the box seat.
Yeah. 24 for 2. Gabriel's with his shadow to his right now. The sun's with us again. Round the wicket he goes, bowls to Stokes, drives. Now it's definitely 1 here. Root will have his eye on 2 as the fielder comes up. It's Roach. He won't run this time. That throw came in on the bounce. 25 for 2. The lead 207. With 1 or 2 overs left tonight. Hard to tell really. And then 98 tomorrow. But working things out in an ideal world where you have that second new ball.
Weather and light's going to come into it, isn't it, perhaps at the end?
I don't know about the weather, so look, we've brought it up.
I think it's going to be all right.
2 balls left in the over. Root's waiting as Gabriel bowls him short and pulled away down towards long leg. Long way down there, but the fielder will keep them down to 1 run. Manchester.
Yes.
Monday.
Correct.
Lovely day. Predominantly sunshine.
Yeah. Nothing clouding in later
18
on
degrees,
in the day.
10 hours of sun.
Oh, there you go. We might be all right then. We'll get the full bifter.
Yeah. I guess that's on one of the forecasts. 26 for 2. Last ball of the over. We're ticking around to 5 minutes to go in the day's play.
Don't get out now.
Stokes waits. Gabriel goes charging up, bowls wide outside the off stump. There's a useful bottom edge of the bat, toe end maybe. They've taken one beautiful pick up the throw. That's beautiful fielding down there. Although he slipped, he picked that up one-handed and immediately threw the ball.
Got it
and
there,
Stokes changed his mind and sent Root back when he'd thought of a second. 27 for 2. We might get 2. It's one of those really tight ones. Because the West Indies won't be bothered at all about bowling 2 overs. Today at the Test, the highlights show will be on at 7 o'clock on BBC Two. But you can watch it when you want on iPlayer.
Yeah, look at old Keeball Roach walking the ball. He's not looking to rush through.
No, that's, might not get 1 over in looking at that.
Might not. He's come all the way from deep mid-off.
Yeah, that is not a man in a hurry. He's heading off to the far edge. He's actually speeding up a little bit now.
I don't know. 5 minutes, is it?
27 for 2. Holders moving his field and the men all over the place. Long off, deep cover, deep point. He himself was at slip, and there's a long on, deep square leg, fine leg, and the man saving a single at mid-wicket is down the pitch now. Stokes and hammering it into the offside. Root again gets his head down, is very quick, but they won't get the second there. 28 for 2.
Must hit that too well.
Stokes to 11. The lead 210. There's always that thought, of course, that if we're talking about carrot danglers early, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Whether or not did you dangle one to the West Indies?
I don't know. I mean, the draw's no good for England.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Graham Smith opened at the SCG in 2009 to retire hurt, but came in at 11 in the second innings.
You can always tell there's a note of. You can always hear the triumph, can't you? Roach bowls outside the off stump and Root lets that go through this time to the wicketkeeper. Just thinking maybe about making sure that he's around tomorrow.
Yeah.
28 for 2.
Yeah, they're going to need more than 11 overs, I think. Yeah.
Roach wheels round. There's 3 minutes to go. Up he comes and bowls to Root on the back foot, forcing it away for a single. Gap in the offside. 29 for 2 with 3 balls to go. I don't think we'll get another one in.
No.
The field goes out.
Well, there's no need for the West Indies to.
No. Lead 211. They're just trying to restrict England as long as they can and hope maybe they do get a carrot dangler.
Yeah.
And that Root says, well, look, we've got to win.
Yeah.
And they get something that actually could profit the West Indies. Here comes Roach bowls outside the off stump. And Stokes again is looking for that second, pushing it very gently into the offside. No, they shout. Lovely cricket. And also very well done the fielder coming in, because he sprinted in. Stokes, you could see what was going through his mind. He got himself in position. He almost set off running before he played the shot.
Whichever way, John, it's going to be a great day.
It is.
Tomorrow. Really good, exciting, tense day, because I must admit, I was thinking it could be a bit of a slow day tomorrow.
Yep. You're going to have an early night.
Yes, I am. Always do.
You'll have supper.
Yes.
And then retire.
Will you join me?
Yes.
Well,
30
I've
for
got
2.
choice.
Here's Roach. Bowls and it's an inside edge for Root. Well, runs away fine. They'll definitely get 2 here. Well, there's very nice socially separated tables for 1.
Yeah. I know.
32 for 2 with 1 ball to go in this over. Is it going to be the last of the day? That's the question. It's very tight.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good. I'm glad. I mean, we had a great test match down in Southampton, didn't we? First one back, balled up into a beauty, and so I think this one will be as well. So fair play to both sides.
214 is the lead. It's 32 for 2 as Roach in early evening sunshine bowls. A ball that's a slower ball there, beautifully bowled. Went straight through. Root looking at the umpire. No, he took one look there at the bails, and then he's walked off. So he might get 1 more in.
Well, by my clock in front of me, we've got 1 minute.
Yes, this is one of these radio-controlled ones for Daventry or something.
Yeah.
So I know that's accurate because of when the programme starts. So we're 45 seconds, and we are going to have another over.
Yep.
32 for 2. The lead 214. And now Roach has to walk all the way down to this end once more.
I might be tempted to put the spinner on with everyone back. Go on then, Stokesy, if you want to get it for 6. Well, I might get you out.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Gabriel's going to bowl it. The lead 214. Stokes 12 not out. Is over his bat. And Gabriel's on his way, and he bowls outside the off stump. It's cracked away down towards square third man. They should get 2 here, I think. Stokes thinks about it. Yes, he says. The throw comes up to Root's end. Gabriel's in no position there behind the stumps at all. Was wandering round, but he managed to stop the ball anyway. And Stokes takes 14. And the lead 216.
Yeah, that slower ball from Roach turned and bounced.
Just gripped, didn't it?
Yeah. There's enough in this pitch. It's got drier and drier and drier.
Yeah.
Bounce might be a factor if one keeps low.
Blackwell got that ball from
Oh, absolutely. Good luck.
shot on the ground, really.
Pea roller.
34 for 2. 5 balls remain in the day.
Daisy cutter.
That's the one. Gabriel round the wicket, bowls to Stokes, thumps it back at him. Powerful straight drive. The fielder should cut it off below us. In fact, he's done so well there, he's kept them just down to 1 run. It's a beautifully timed straight drive. 35 for 2. The fielder had a long way to go, but you see how hard Stokes hit that by the fact they've only got 1 run out of it. Looking at the replay I'm seeing on my screen, that ball I think has ruffled the surface of the pitch as well.
Oh, it's teed up beautifully. It really is.
Four balls remain. The field coming in now.
Yeah, don't do anything silly now.
Root's on 7. Again, tapping away there at the ground with his bat. Gabriel on his way, he bowls to him. Oh, he's fallen. Playing and missing. So he can guide the ball into the gap there in the offside. 3 balls remaining, 35 for 2.
Well, we thought about 35-40, wouldn't we, in that little session? So they've
haven't done
pretty
badly.
No, they've done pretty well, yeah. I mean, no great big fours being hit, have they, or anything, but they've just...
There's not been fireworks, but the last...
Yeah, ticked it over.
While has been just quite busy. Root on 7. Gabriel. Lung full of air. Sets off once again past the little white disc there. He's there, he bowls, and Root will get 1, guiding the ball to third man to go to 8. 36 for 2, the lead 218. England changing the batting order around. Bowled West Indies out for 287.
Well, how many overs did that take at England to bowl them out first, John?
99.
99 overs.
You'd probably expect to do it quicker second innings, wouldn't you?
Especially get just a couple of early ones and really get a bit of panic on.
Exactly.
Gabriel round the wicket, bowls to Stokes. A massive heave.
Wow.
And he misses that completely. It's collected by Durrett. That would have gone straight over our heads, I think.
Would have done. It's like a golf swing, that was like one wood, like a driver off the first tee, that.
36 for 2. Last ball, and again a little ruffle there of the surface, it seemed, looking at the replay.
Well spotted.
It moved away too. So here's the last ball, and then we'll have our review of the day. And then we'll look forward to tomorrow. We'll be on air at, our highlights start at 10:15 in the morning, but we'll begin our proper preview from 11:45 in the morning. 36 for 2. Gabriel goes thundering in, bowls to Stokes, who works into the leg side. Now you might get 2 here again. It's been beautifully played. No, they shout. No, they shout. And so the close of play is 37 for 2. So a lead of 219 with Stokes on 16, Root on 8. There's 98 overs to go tomorrow. You've got to take 2 out of those out for the change of innings. And so the England captain will have a few things to think about overnight while he works out what they're going to do. Quick thought from you, Tuffers, and then we'll start our review.
Yeah, set up beautifully. Great spell from Stuart Broad and Chris Wokes just to drag England back into the game. And tomorrow I'll be here. It's going to be fireworks.
You've got nowhere to go.
Well, no, I know, but
you won't be allowed to go anywhere.
Well, all right. Well, I'll be looking intently because I can feel something's afoot. I think it's going to be a great day.
Excellent.
Could go either way.
Thank you, Tuffers.
There's.
You'll catch Tuffers on the highlights on BBC Two. And now we can begin our review of it's the 4th day of the second test. It's between England and the West Indies at Emirates Old Trafford in this Raise the Bat Test series, which West Indies, of course, lead by 1-0. There's 1 to play after this, and there's a terrific final day as we're set up here with England leading by 219 runs, a 37 for 2 at the close. There are 98 overs remaining in the match, but there'll be 2 of those lost because of the change of innings. Stokes is on 16, Root is on 8. England turned the batting order around. They opened with Buckler, to try and inject some real speed into that the half hour or so they had tonight. Well, he got out for 0 and Crawley for 11, but it's not a bad little addition. That there's 37 runs that were scored, the lead level 219. But the real action happened this afternoon because West Indies seemed to be moving on very comfortably to their total of 270. They needed to avoid the follow-on, but then suddenly England took the second new ball. Stuart Broad took 3 for 1 in 14 balls. West Indies lost 6 for 45, and only Roston Chase's 51 helped them over the line of the follow-on. Shamar Brooks made a very good 68. Craig Brathwaite 75. Broad finished with 3 for 66. Wokes 3 for 72. Curran 2 for 70. So 287 all out, a lead of 182. As I mentioned, England at the close then 37 for 2. They lead by 219.